Chapter 1065. If that's the case, you should help me. Xiao Ji glanced at Wang Jingyang. Help you? Why should I help you? Wang Jingyang sneered coldly. Because we have the same goal. Xiao Ji glanced at Wang Jingyang. You should know that Pei Yucheng is not little Jiu's way out. At this point, Wang Jingyang was slightly stunned. Actually, you know this better than anyone else. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come all the way here to kill Pei Yucheng. Even though you used to be the best of brothers, he betrayed you, didn't he? Xiao Ji said softly. Wang Jingyang's eyes glinted coldly when he heard Xiao Ji. Xiao Ji was right, his once best brother had given them the most ruthless knife. Xiao Ji added when Wang Jingyang fell silent. Actually, you don't have to think of ways to get rid of Pei Yucheng. There is a very simple and direct way. What way? Wang Jingyang asked. As long as little Jiu leaves him, everything will be solved, Xiao Ji replied. Pei Yucheng glanced at Xiao Ji. You make it sound too easy. So, you help me. I can make little Jiu leave him. Xiao Ji chuckled softly. You? How do you do it? Use your mental strength to hypnotize him? Wang Jingyang rubbed his chin and pondered. Actually, with your ability, you can really do it. Yes, you can hypnotize little Jiu and make her hate him. Then, she can leave Pei Yucheng. Xiao Ji was speechless. Am I wrong? Wang Jingyang frowned when he saw Xiao Ji's expression. I won't do that, and I don't want to do that, Xiao Ji replied. Then why? Wang Jingyang was puzzled. An open and above-board competition. Xiao Ji chuckled softly. It doesn't matter if I can win or not. At least, I have never compromised with fate. I welcome all powerful competitors. It can be you, Pei Yucheng, or anyone else, Xiao Ji replied. You should give up. Didn't I help you when she was racing in the M Nation? How did you court her? Wang Jingyang sneered coldly. Hearing that, Xiao Ji was slightly stunned and couldn't help recalling the past. She said that her hands and feet were useless and that it would take her a long time to practice horizontal drifting. Do you remember what you said? Wang Jingyang glanced at Xiao Ji. Xiao Ji, tell me. Since it's so useless, then don't practice it. Wang Jingyang sneered. Xiao Ji, that's right, there was another time when little Nine told you that she had a fever. What did you say? Wang Jingyang sneered, you said it's only 40 degrees. It's fine, it's the body that's getting rid of the bacteria. Did I say something wrong? Xiao Ji asked Wang Jingyang in confusion. Hearing this, Wang Jingyang looked at Xiao Ji, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. How could this kind of person have a girlfriend? Bai Zai, don't even mention chasing little Nine. If I were a girl, you wouldn't even be able to chase me. Do you believe me? Wang Jingyang coldly laughed. Even if you are a woman, I am not interested in you. Xiao Ji said lightly. Wang Jingyang, you won't be able to chase little Nine. Think of another way. I don't have any hope for you, Wang Jingyang said. How do you know if you don't try? Xiao Ji replied. What else do you want to try? Didn't you chase little Nine before? What I remember most is that little Nine told you that life is too short. What did you say? It doesn't matter if a person dies. What dissipates is just a body. If you are afraid of death, you can try dying once. Are you even human? Chapter 1066. Xiao Ji glanced at Wang Jingyang thoughtfully and said softly, so you think there's something wrong with the way I'm pursuing little Jiu? Wang Jingyang chuckled softly and shook his head. There's nothing wrong with the way you're pursuing little Jiu. I think there's something wrong with your brain. Something wrong with my brain? Xiao Ji frowned. Why do you think so? Wang Jingyang was speechless. What I said earlier was useless. I don't think I have anything in common with you. Don't even think about pursuing little Jiu. Think about how you can get your own child in the future. I think this is your most serious problem now. Wang Jingyang glanced at Xiao Ji. How could he pursue little Jiao with such a brain? He might be fine in his dreams, but he was destined to be single for the rest of his life. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way I'm pursuing little Jiao. Perhaps it's because she likes Pei Yuqing more, Xiao Ji said after pondering for a moment. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Wang Jingyang strode to Xiao Ji and patted his shoulder gently. Even if there's no Pei Yuqing, all the men in the world are dead. Even if there's only you, little Jiao, and a dog left. Before Wang Jingyang could finish, Xiao Ji said softly, "Are you trying to say that she would rather choose a dog than me?" Hearing Xiao Ji's words, Wang Jingyang looked surprised. I suddenly became smarter. I'm not used to it. No wonder little Jiao has been avoiding me and never replied to my messages, Xiao Ji said thoughtfully. You've already told her to die once. Who else would she hide from if not you? Wang Jingyang sneered coldly. Besides, you know little Jiao's character. You took her to the most expensive restaurant when you treated her to a meal. Don't you know how much it cost? You ran away when you were paying the bill. Do you still remember that? Wang Jingyang glanced at Xiao Ji. Xiao Ji nodded. Yes, but you taught me to do something special to make her remember me and have a deep impression of me. The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth twitched when he heard Xiao Ji. This guy must be doing this on purpose. I'm right, but did I ask you to run away? Wang Jingyang sneered. Does she remember me? Does she have a deep impression of me? Xiao Ji asked expressionlessly. Wang Jingyang, goodbye, I'm going back. Wang Jingyang found that if he continued to talk with Xiao Ji might really beat him up. Wang Jingyang had to admit that Xiao Ji's IQ was indeed very high. Biyao represented the brains of the mountains and seas. However, Wang Jingyang could not understand why Biyao, who had a high IQ, had such a low EQ. She had asked him to do some special things to leave a deep impression on little Jiao. She had asked him to do some romantic things, but she had never asked him to run away when he was paying the bill. That time was still fresh in Wang Jingyang's memory. It had almost caused little Nine to go bankrupt. Wang Jingyang was about to leave, but then he thought about it and came back. He looked at Xiao Ji and smiled. Brother Zai, lend me some money, borrow money? Hearing this, Xiao Ji frowned slightly. What do you want money for? Wang Jingyang looked at Xiao Ji and said, go home. I borrowed money from little Jiao, but I couldn't help but use it all up. Now I only have 12 yuan on me. Can you lend me some so I can buy a ticket home? Chapter 1067. Don't you even have money? Don't you even have money? Xiao Ji's expression was a little strange. Do you know that you're asking for a beating? Wang Jingyang looked at Xiao Ji. Is it so easy to earn money? Is it not easy to earn money? Xiao Ji looked more and more puzzled. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Wang Jingyang swore that the man in front of him had a really low EQ compared to his two younger brothers. His EQ was worlds apart. If such a person could have so much wealth, why was he so poor and only had a little more than 10 yuan? Don't talk nonsense. Lend me some money, Wang Jingyang said. No, Xiao Ji said faintly. No? Wang Jingyang was stunned. He really didn't expect Xiao Ji to refuse. We've been friends for so many years. You don't even want to lend me a plane ticket? Wang Jingyang was surprised. Yes, no, Xiao Ji said. Are you sure? Wang Jingyang stared at Xiao Ji. Are you going to lend me money or not? What? Judging from your attitude, are you going to rob us? Xiao Ji asked. Rob me? Wang Jingyang was stunned and immediately sneered. Do I need to rob you? I'm just not like you. What's the use of earning so much money? If I wanted to earn money, I would also have endless wealth. But you don't even have the money to buy a plane ticket home now, Xiao Ji said. Of course, It's not a problem if you want me to lend you money, unless you help me. Xiao Ji continued. Stop dreaming. I won't help you. Wang Jingyang sneered. You will, Xiao Ji said. I won't, Wang Jingyang said. In China, a helicopter landed slowly. Wang Jingyang and Xiao Ji walked out of the helicopter. This is where little Jiao lives now. Wang Jingyang pointed to Cloud Manor in the distance and said impatiently. Xing Chuan, build a manor next to Cloud Manor, Xiao Ji said to the young man behind him. Okay. Xing Chuan nodded. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Can you let little Jiao out for dinner tonight? Xiao Ji asked softly. Just give up. I won't call her. If she wants to, you can do it yourself, Wang Jingyang said. Xiao Ji looked at Wang Jingyang and said softly, if you don't help me, then I'll tell little Jiao that everything in the M nation was your idea, including the single running. Are you a scoundrel? What does this have to do with me? Did I ask you to be a loner? Wang Jingyang was stunned. Yes, said Xiao Ji. Wang Jingyang, Cloud Manor. Wang Jingyang called while Lin Yan was stroking the cat. Doggy, are you crazy? It's so expensive to make an international call. Lin Yan answered the call. I'm back. I'll treat you to dinner tonight. You're back. You've only been gone for a few days. Why are you back so soon? You wastrel. The plane tickets were so expensive. Didn't you know how long you should stay? Lin Yan frowned. Lin Yan didn't dwell on it after she hung up. When Lin Yan arrived at the address that Wang Jingyang had sent her, she was taken aback. The hotel in front of her was the most high-end restaurant in the country. She hadn't noticed when Wang Jingyang had sent her the address. Wang Jingyang was treating her to dinner here. Just one meal was enough to make her bankrupt. Lin Yan couldn't help but recall the man called Xiao Ji in Country M. She would remember him for the rest of her life. He had promised to treat her to dinner at the most high-end restaurant, but he had run away when she was about to pay the bill. That meal had made her feel heartache until this day. End of this chapter. Chapter 1068. When Lin Yan had first arrived abroad, the first person she had met was Xiao Ji. She had to admit that Xiao Ji was indeed stunning. Not only was he good-looking, but he also had an elegant demeanor. However, who would have thought that Xiao Ji would be a retard? Lin Yan still remembered how difficult it had been for her to practice horizontal drifting. She had complained to Xiao Ji, but he had told her seriously that since it was so useless, she shouldn't waste her time. She should just change to another industry. She had even told him that a person's life was too short. Who would have thought that Xiao Ji would ask her to try and kill herself? The most exaggerated time was when Xiao Ji had treated her to the most expensive restaurant and ordered the most expensive food. In the end, she had learned the most expensive lesson. The person who had paid the bill had run away. She had told him more than once that he could just eat whatever he wanted. There was no need to spend so much money on food. Why did he have to spend millions on food? Wasn't that like having too much money but nowhere to spend it? Lin Yan finally understood now. No wonder he had spent so much money on food. After all, he was the one paying the bill. If Xiao Ji hadn't been so famous, rich, and powerful, she would have run him over with her car. Lin Yan still couldn't understand why such a big shot would cheat her of her money. Perhaps that meal was nothing to him, but to her, it would cost her half her life. Lin Yan studied the restaurant in front of her suspiciously. Where did Doggy get so much money to treat her to a meal here? In a place like this, I'm afraid only the real rich can afford it, right? An ominous feeling rose in Lin Yan's heart. Was the pup trying to imitate that man? Lin Yan shook her head. Doggy wasn't that kind of person. If he was, she would beat him to death. He wouldn't dare. Miss, do you have a reservation? When Lin Yan stepped into the restaurant, someone blocked her way. I'm looking for someone, replied Lin Yan. Looking for someone? May I know who you are looking for? Or which floor? The 16th floor, replied Lin Yen. Are you looking for the 16th floor? Hearing this, the waiter in the suit frowned slightly. This restaurant had a total of 16 floors, and each floor only served one table of customers. The price of each floor was different, and the most expensive was the top floor. The young lady before him was dressed in ordinary clothes. No matter how he looked at it, it was impossible for her to have anything to do with the 16th floor. Sorry, can you wait a moment? We need to verify. May I know your name? Lin, replied Lin Yen. A moment later, the waiter walked out again and said softly, Miss Lin, I'm very sorry to have delayed your time. We have already verified it. Miss Lin, please follow me. Someone will take you to the 16th floor. When she reached the 16th floor, she couldn't help but sigh. It was an open-air panoramic view. At a glance, one could see the most beautiful scenery in the capital. The fragrance of flowers assailed his nostrils, making him feel relaxed and happy. Lin Yen. Suddenly, Wang Jingyang's voice came from the front. Lin Yen surveyed Wang Jingyang with narrowed eyes before she strode over. As she stared at the delicacies on the table, Lin Yen stared at Wang Jingyang. Did you rob a bank? Pfft. Wang Jingyang glared at Lin Yen. Do you think I have the guts? Lin Yen nodded. You're right. What happened? Where did you get so much money? Do you know how much this meal cost? Lin Yen was puzzled. Chapter 1069. Wang Jingyang surveyed his surroundings for a moment before he glanced at Lin Yen guiltily. Lin Yen frowned when she noticed Wang Jingyang's unusual expression. Could it be that this fellow really has some tricks up his sleeves? Are you going to tell me or not? If not, I'm leaving, Lin Yen said warily. Wang Jingyang smiled sheepishly when he heard Lin Yen. He rubbed his nose and said softly, Hey, I don't have that much money to treat you to a meal here. Lin Yen was startled when she heard him. She glared at Wang Jingyang. Pup, don't court death. What's going on? Lin Yen knew that Wang Jingyang couldn't possibly have the money to spend at such a place. However, this floor had opened. Was he planning to dine and dash? However, Lin Yen didn't remember Wang Jingyang being so bold. Xiaoyan, actually. I have something to tell you. Wang Jingyang glanced at Lin Yen and chuckled softly. What is it? Asked Lin Yen. Nothing much. Do you still remember that we have an old friend? Wang Jingyang replied. Old friend? Lin Yen looked even more puzzled when she heard Wang Jingyang's words. Before Lin Yen could continue, a voice that made her hair stand on end rang out from behind her. Xiaoyan, long time no see. Xiao Ji slowly walked forward from the back with a soft smile on his face. When Lin Yen saw Xiao Ji, she froze on the spot. Lin Yen would never forget this face. It was etched in her heart and left a deep impression on her. Even if Xiao Ji turned into ashes, Lin Yen would still be able to recognize him. F***ck, instinctively, Lin Yan's body trembled. She had never imagined that Xiao Ji would suddenly appear here. Xiao Ji and Wang Jingyang knew that Lin Yen still remembered when they saw her expression. Back then, Lin Yen had been involved in a car accident because of Pei Yucheng. After the car accident, Lin Yen had completely lost all her memories of Pei Yucheng. Coincidentally, Xiao Ji's younger brother, Xiao Yao, had also been present on the day of the accident. Hence, Lin Yen had lost all her memories of Xiao Yao. However, he still retained all his memories of Xiao Ji and had never forgotten a single thing. Lin Yan's brain seemed to have short-circuited as she stared at the man before her. After some time, she snapped back to her senses and forced an ugly smile. Lin Yen instinctively wanted to stay away from Xiao Ji, but she couldn't afford to offend her. Back then, Xiao Ji's name was well known abroad. He was rich, powerful, even though Lin Yen really wanted to beat him up, she could only force an ugly smile on her face. Mr. Xiao. Why are you here? Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Ji and asked softly. Miss Lin Yan, you haven't seen an old friend in a long time. Don't you miss him? Xiao Ji grinned at Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded and replied, yes, 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 yes. She wouldn't forget it even if she became a ghost. Then. Xiaoyan, let's get married. Xiao Ji gazed at Lin Yan intently. Both Lin Yan and Wang Jingyang were dumbfounded when they heard that. Marriage? Wang Jingyang stared at Xiao Ji in astonishment. Why would he say that? Mr. Xiao. Lin Yan was dumbfounded. What did you say? Xiao Ji chuckled softly. Let's get married. Chapter 1070. Initially, Lin Yan had been shocked and Xiao Ji had suddenly appeared in front of her. She hadn't snapped back to her senses yet. Then, Xiao Ji had suddenly said, let's get married. Lin Yan was completely dumbfounded. For no reason at all, Guzi had treated her to the best restaurant in the capital city. Then, Xiao Ji, whom she had been avoiding, had appeared at this restaurant. Not only that, but Xiao Ji had also wanted to marry her. Who was she? Where was she? Who could tell her what had happened? Lin Yan was stunned for a long time before her eyes landed on Xiao Ji again. She frowned and asked in confusion, Mr. Xiao. Why did you suddenly say that? Or is there a misunderstanding between us? Back when they had been abroad, Lin Yan and Xiao Ji had had a good relationship and could be considered friends. However, after spending some time together, Lin Yan had realized that Xiao Ji's identity wasn't ordinary. In fact, Lin Yan still didn't know what kind of terrifying power Xiao Ji had overseas. Later on, Lin Yan realized that Xiao Ji wasn't suitable to be her friend. For example, there had been a time when she had a fever that was close to 40 degrees. Coincidentally, Xiao Ji had been there, so Lin Yan had asked Xiao Ji to buy some medicine. In the end, the man had told her that it was okay to have a fever of 40 degrees. She wouldn't die because her body was getting rid of the bacteria and it wasn't a big deal. Another time, when she had been chatting with Xiao Ji, she had said that life was too short. In the end, Xiao Ji had told her to die. Die once. There had been another time that she couldn't get over. Back then, she hadn't reached the top of the racing field and had been defeated by a famous racer. In the end, Xiao Ji had found out about this. Lin Yan had never expected that Xiao Ji would get someone to beat up the racer and buy over his team. He had even made the racer, whom Lin Yan admired, wash his toilet. After doing all this, Xiao Ji had actually come to ask her if she was surprised and happy. This wasn't a surprise. It was a shock. On the racing field, one had to rely on one's strength to speak. At that time, she had been inferior, so she had nothing to say. However, Xiao Ji's actions were indeed incomprehensible. Xiao Ji was like a cloud of fog. You could never see through this man. Moreover, you could never know what he would do in the next second that was against common sense and shocking. Xiaoyan, are you willing to marry me? Xiao Ji asked softly with a faint smile on his face. Lin Yan was speechless. Mr. Xiao, is there a misunderstanding between us? Why do you want to marry me so suddenly? Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Ji in confusion. Suddenly? Xiao Ji glanced at Lin Yan in confusion. Don't you like me? Lin Yan was speechless. Like him? How did he know that I like him? I asked you if you missed me, but you didn't admit it. Since you missed me, it means that you like me, and since you like me, you naturally want to marry me. Xiao Ji said matter-of-factly. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched when she heard Xiao Ji. Wasn't this man's imagination a little too rich? Those were just his polite words just now, polite words, okay? Could it be that this man couldn't even tell the difference between polite words? Chapter 1071. Lin Yan suppressed the urge to punch him and forced a smile. Mr. Xiao Ji, I think you have misunderstood. Actually. To be honest, I already have a boyfriend. Besides, my boyfriend, Lin Yan stared at Xiao Ji intently. However, before she could finish her sentence, Xiao Ji interjected nonchalantly, "You have a boyfriend? It's okay. I won't see you again." Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. She didn't care? Even if he didn't care, she did. Actually, it's okay to have a boyfriend. Lovers can break up. Even if they get married, they can get a divorce. Two people aren't bound to each other. Xiao Ji grinned at Lin Yan. Wang Jingyang glanced at Xiao Ji with a conflicted expression. He really shouldn't have had any hope for this idiot with a low EQ. Even if he wanted to snatch little Jiao away from Pei Yucheng, he would have to do it slowly and find the right time. He had asked little Jiao to marry her the moment they had met and claimed that he didn't care if she had a boyfriend. This was simply hopeless. What sin did he commit to bring this man to Hua Nation? Xing Chuan, I heard that your master said that you have a high EQ. Are you here to help him plan? Wang Jingyang immediately pulled the young man aside and said softly. Xing Chuan nodded gently. Yes, sir. Don't call me sir. Just call me Wang Jingyang. Wang Jingyang looked around and said, I can't do anything about your master being like this. If you continue to let your master be like this, he can go back to where he came from. Understood, Xing Chuan replied softly. Xing Chuan walked over to Lin Yan and Xiao Ji and grinned. Sir, it's been a long time since we last met. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. The dishes are here. Why don't we talk while we eat? Xiao Ji originally wanted to say something, but when Xing Chuan opened his mouth, he couldn't say what he wanted to say. Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Xiao, let's eat first. Lin Yan nodded repeatedly and glanced at Xing Chuan gratefully. How could she take it if they continued chatting? There were 3 reasons why Lin Yan didn't leave. The first reason was that Go Zi was the one who called her over, so it wasn't appropriate for her to leave just like that. The second reason was that Xiao Ji wasn't an ordinary person and couldn't be offended easily. The third reason was that when she was abroad, she had no friends except Wang Jingyang. Xiao Ji was one of them, and Xiao Ji took good care of her at that time. If Xiao Ji hadn't done a series of unimaginable things in the past, they would have been sworn brothers by now. Fortunately, she reined in her horse in the nick of time and did not continue to have a deep relationship with Xiao Ji. Sir, Miss Lin has a boyfriend. I believe that with Miss Lin's eyesight, she will not be wrong. You should bless Miss Lin, shouldn't you? Xing Chuan sat beside Xiao Ji and said with a smile. Xiao Ji pondered for a moment before he nodded and gazed at Lin Yan sincerely. Xiaoyan. Lin Yan grinned and was about to speak when Xiao Ji interrupted her. I wish you a speedy breakup. Wang Jingyang, Lin Yan was speechless. Xing Chuan, Wang Jingyang subconsciously looked at Xiao Ji, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. If Xiao Ji had shared some of his IQ with his EQ, Pei Yucheng wouldn't have stood a chance back then. Chapter 1072. Wang Jingyang wiped the corners of his mouth. Could he go back on his word and bring Xiao Ji back? Xing Chuan, who was sitting next to Xiao Ji, chuckled as he gazed at Lin Yan. The corners of his mouth curled up, revealing his 2 canine teeth. Miss Lin, sir wishes you and your boyfriend to get married soon. Lin Yan frowned at Xing Chuan's words. Did he think she was a fool? Hadn't Xiao Ji said that he wished her an early breakup? If you get married to your boyfriend, you will only have a husband and no boyfriend. That would be equivalent to breaking up with your boyfriend. Sir wishes for an early breakup, but what he means is for you and your boyfriend to get together as soon as possible. Xing Chuan chuckled softly. Wang Jingyang almost spat out the drink in his mouth. The man in front of him looked delicate and handsome, especially when he smiled. His 2 canine teeth were adorable as well. How could such a handsome boy, who looked straightforward and bright, say such a thing against his conscience with such a natural expression? If he didn't know Xiao Ji's EQ, he would have believed him. However, he had to admit that Xing Chuan was really good with his words. Miss Lin, sir has been missing you all these years. He told us that he once had a female friend, but he lost contact with her. This has always been a regret in his heart. Since he was able to find you today, Miss Lin, he no longer has any regrets. He is especially happy and gratified to know that you have found a husband, Xing Chuan said softly to Lin Yan. Actually, I left because I had no choice. Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Ji. Actually, she had left without saying goodbye. Sir said that you must have your reasons for leaving without saying goodbye. It's just that he hasn't heard from you for a long time. Not only does he miss you, but he's also very worried. He doesn't know if you're safe, Xing Chuan said. Xing Chuan sighed and added, actually, Sir's health hasn't been very good all these years. Lin Yan scrutinized Xiao Ji from head to toe. Lin Yan's expression changed slightly. At this time, Xiao Ji was sitting in a wheelchair. She hadn't noticed it before. Mr. Xiao, what happened to your legs? Lin Yan frowned. Xiao Ji chuckled. Actually, it doesn't matter, because, before Xiao Ji could finish his words, Wang Jingyang quickly stepped forward and covered Xiao Ji's mouth. Hurry up, eat. This is delicious. You have to eat more. Don't you King talk. After saying that, Wang Jingyang picked up the food and hurriedly stuffed it into Xiao Ji's mouth. Back then, when Sir heard that you were in a car accident, he was anxious and waited outside the hospital for several days. But at that time, Miss Lin seemed to have some misunderstanding towards Sir, so Sir simply waited outside the ward and did not show himself. After that, Miss Lin, you left America without saying goodbye. Sir was very afraid that Miss Lin would take things too hard or get into an accident, so he searched for you outside for a long time. After that, his health deteriorated. Xing Chuan sighed. Wang Jingyang secretly glanced at Xing Chuan. Xiao Ji was right to bring him here with such EQ, Xing Chuan wasn't lying. Back then, Xiao Ji had indeed waited outside the ward for a long time and searched for Lin Yan for a long time. However, it felt completely different when Xing Chuan said it. Chapter 1073. Lin Yan stared at Xiao Ji in astonishment. His legs had become like this because of her? Mr. Xiao. Did your legs become like this because of me? Lin Yan asked in disbelief. Of course not. Xiao Ji chuckled softly. Mr. Zhao's legs have nothing to do with you, Miss Lin. You shouldn't feel guilty because of this. It's just that Mr. Zhao's obsession is very strong. I believe that your reunion with your old friend, Miss Lin, will resolve the knot in your heart. In the future, your body will slowly recover. Xing Chuan grinned. Mr. Xiao, even so, Lin Yan felt as though she had something to do with Xiao Ji's predicament. She felt a little guilty. However, Lin Yan was still puzzled. When they had been abroad, she hadn't felt that Xiao Ji had valued this friend of hers. Otherwise, how could he have said that he would let her die once? He had even cheated her of so much money. She had almost gone bankrupt. At the thought of this, Lin Yan was furious. However, after looking at Xiao Ji and hearing what Xing Chuan had said, it seemed like she couldn't get angry at Xiao Ji. Mr. Xiao, can your legs recover? Lin Yan frowned as she glanced at the man in the wheelchair, who looked slightly pale. If you're willing to help, there might be a chance. Xiao Ji pondered it and chuckled softly. Huh? Me? Lin Yan was taken aback. Xing Chuan hurriedly said, what Mr. Xiao means is that if you stop hiding from him and keep in touch with him, the knot in his heart will be resolved and there will be hope for his body to recover. At this moment, Wang Jingyang looked at Xiao Ji calmly. Given Xiao Ji's current condition, even the Lin Yan of the past wouldn't have been able to come up with a good solution. His body had deteriorated completely. If Xiao Ji's mental strength hadn't been so strong, his body would have collapsed completely. Mr. Xiao, why did you come to the country? Is there anything you want to do? Lin Yan asked softly. What I want to do the most? Xiao Ji was slightly taken aback. Lin Yan nodded. I'm a little curious. I want to challenge the strongest person in the world. Even if I die in battle, it will be worth it. Xiao Ji chuckled softly. Lin Yan was speechless. What nonsense was he talking about? Challenge the strongest person in the world? What does that mean? Ahem, Mr. means to say that the knot in his heart is that he will not retreat no matter how dangerous it is. Even if his body is not well now, he still wants to find a good friend like you, Miss Lin. That's why Mr. was able to find you, Miss Lin, Xing Chuan said. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan looked doubtful when she heard Xing Chuan. Lin Yan's heart was filled with doubts. How could Xiao Ji value his friend so much? Logically speaking, that shouldn't be the case. What kind of status did Xiao Ji have? For Xiao Ji, she was just an ordinary girl, an ordinary racer. Would the Order of the Firmaments treat her as their best friend? And he had been looking for her for so many years? He actually became the knot in Xiao Ji's heart. Why was this so illogical? However, when it came from Xing Chuan's mouth, it sounded like it was only natural. What was wrong, Xiaoyan? Are you still racing? Xiao Ji asked suddenly. Yeah, it's a team from the country. Lin Yan nodded. Do you want to consider changing your profession? Xiao Ji asked softly. Why? Lin Yan was puzzled. Because you were in a car accident, Xiao Ji replied thoughtfully. Lin Yan was speechless. Damn it. Chapter 1074. Wang Jingyang pinched Xiao Ji's thigh hard. If looks could kill, Xiao Ji would have been killed by Wang Jingyang 1,000 times. Could this fellow be saved? Xing Chuan had tried so hard to salvage the situation and make Xiaoyan's impression of him improve. However, he was beaten back to his original state immediately. Xiaoyan was in a car accident and her leg was injured. She needs to recuperate, Xiao Ji said thoughtfully. Xing Chuan nodded hurriedly. Yes, that's what you meant. Wang Jingyang sighed heavily. It was too difficult for him. This meal made Wang Jingyang break out in a cold sweat. You never knew what shocking words Xiao Ji would say in the next second. After dinner, Lin Yan bade farewell to Xiao Ji and helped Wang Jingyang into her car. Lin Yan, don't be so polite. I can take a taxi back myself. You don't have to send me. Wang Jingyang broke out in a cold sweat when he saw Lin Yan's unfriendly expression. He looked guilty. Why did you bring him here? Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang. Wang Jingyang jumped in fright when he heard Lin Yan. Xiaoyan, what do you mean by that? What do you mean I brought him here? Xiao Ji coming to China has nothing to do with me. We're just on the same flight. He wants to treat me to a meal and asked me to invite you. This is very normal. Wang Jingyang's eyes rolled as he spoke. He had promised that he would never lie to her again, but this wasn't considered a lie. He and Xiao Ji had indeed taken the same flight, and Xiao Ji had indeed invited him to a meal. That was right. Is what you said true? Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang suspiciously. Wang Jingyang nodded repeatedly. I swear to God that it's absolutely true. If I lied to you, I will die a horrible death. All right, that's what you said. Lin Yan nodded. That's what I said. Wang Jingyang grinned. What could she do to him? Should she call Xiao Ji to clarify things? However, in the next second, Wang Jingyang's expression suddenly changed. Lin Yan whipped out her phone and dialed Xiao Ji's number before putting it on speaker mode. Xiaoyan, what's up? Xiao Ji's voice came from the phone. Mr. Xiao. It's nothing much. I just wanted to know how you ended up in the country. Lin Yan chuckled softly. On the side, Wang Jingyang pursed his lips. So what if he called Xiao Ji? Would Xiao Ji sell him out? Yes, Wang Jingyang brought me to you. I really should thank him. Xiao Ji, Wang Jingyang secretly clenched his teeth. This evil creature, he definitely wouldn't let him off. After she hung up, her eyes riveted to Wang Jingyang. Wang Jingyang turned his head, looked out the window, and whistled. Pup, turn around. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up into a gentle smile. Yan, I suddenly remembered that the gas is still on at home. I have to go home and fill it up, Wang Jingyang said as he opened the car door. However, Lin Yan was quick enough to lock the door. Wang Jingyang furrowed his eyebrows and turned to stare at Lin Yan. Xiaoyan. You're too much. How dare you lock the car door in broad daylight? Even if you're lusting after my beauty, you shouldn't do it in broad daylight. F***CK. Don't slap my face. Lin Yan pinched Wang Jingyang's left ear and sneered coldly. My pup's wings have finally hardened. Hold on. Wang Jingyang's eyes glinted coldly as he peered out of the car. Run. Wang Jingyang bellowed. Chapter 1075. Lin Yan was puzzled by Wang Jingyang's odd expression. Why did he run for no reason? What are you waiting for? Run. Wang Jingyang turned to Lin Yan when he noticed that she wasn't moving. Have you seen a ghost? Lin Yan was puzzled. Isn't it a ghost? Can you stop wasting time? As he spoke, Wang Jingyang quickly turned the steering wheel. She glanced at Wang Jingyang. I didn't step on the accelerator. Then hurry up and step on the gas pedal. Wang Jingyang yelled. Lin Yan stepped on the accelerator as soon as Wang Jingyang finished speaking. The car instantly started and rushed forward. Immediately, Wang Jingyang rolled down the window and stuck his head out to look. Do you want to die? Lin Yan grabbed Wang Jingyang's collar and pulled him back. Pup, what's going on? Did you lie to a young lady? Are you being pursued now? Lin Yan asked Wang Jingyang meaningfully. Hearing this, Wang Jingyang's face turned red. Nonsense. Who do you think I am? Only little girls would lie to me. Why would I lie to little girls? With my righteous looks. Forget it, now is not the time to talk about this. Instinctively, Lin Yan scanned the rearview mirror. She would have been fine if she hadn't seen it, but when she did, she was startled. In the rearview mirror, Lin Yan could vaguely see a shadow speeding towards her car. Doggy, a dog is chasing us. Lin Yan sounded startled. Wang Jingyang, is that AF** king dog? That's AF** king human. Wang Jingyang shouted. Human? Lin Yan was startled. He didn't look like a human at all. It's a high-level evolved human. Run faster. Wang Jingyang frowned. Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang thoughtfully. Why do you know so much about evolved beings? Wang Jingyang was taken aback for a moment, then he smiled and said, You guys scared me half to death last time. Plus, Yan, you're an evolved person. Of course, I have to learn more about you. Really? Lin Yan was puzzled. Hearing this, Wang Jingyang sighed, then, if I told you that I'm also an evolved person, would you believe me? Are you an evolved being? Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang. Yes, I am an evolver. My evolution level and strength are dozens of dimensions higher than yours. Wang Jingyang smiled. Lin Yan sneered coldly. If you're an evolved being that's dozens of dimensions higher than me, I'm a god-level evolved being with a 100% brain development. Wang Jingyang, this time, he didn't lie to her. If she didn't believe him, it couldn't be counted as a lie. Wait. Wang Jingyang looked out of the window. What's wrong? Lin Yan was puzzled. I don't think so, Wang Jingyang said thoughtfully. I think it's a black dog. Are you seeing things? Lin Yan glanced at Wang Jingyang. I hope so, Wang Jingyang said softly. Somewhere in the rear. The man had long white hair that reached his waist, and his eyes seemed to be moving like stars. As the man's eyes moved, a huge eye appeared in the void, as though it could see through all the mysteries of the world. Sir, are we not going to chase anymore? A young girl stood behind the man and spoke respectfully. There's no need to rush. The man beside that woman is a little troublesome. There's still plenty of time. I want to see if that woman has anything I need. End of this chapter. Chapter 1076. After that strange meal, Lin Yan returned to Cloud Manor. Speaking of which, she seemed to have a lot of romantic partners recently, a few days after Ji Mingzhi, Xiao Ji, had appeared. She had no idea what was going on, but her eyelids had been twitching, as though she had an ominous premonition. Oh, please don't screw up. No way, no way. Pei Yuqing was far away and he was so busy. He wouldn't know about this. Lin Yan shook her head and cleared her mind. Then, she went to the bathroom to take a shower. She had to do a live stream later. Zhao Hongling felt that she hadn't interacted enough with her fans, so she had asked her to do a live stream and chat with her fans. At the same time, at the Pei family's headquarters, Pei Yuqing was flipping through some documents while Cheng Imo was looking at his phone. He looked terrified as though he had seen something. Cheng Imo peeked at his boss cautiously as he read the documents. Pei Yuqing, who sensed Cheng Mo's unusual behavior, asked casually, "What's wrong?" Pei Yuqing's sudden voice startled Cheng Imo. He instinctively put his phone down. No. Nothing. Pei Yuqing raised his head and glanced at Cheng Mo's phone. Then, he extended his hand to him. Cheng Imo didn't dare reject him. He could only bite the bullet and hand the phone over. Then, he took a few steps back and tried to stay as far away from Pei Yuqing as possible. Before Cheng Imo could exit the page, Pei Yuqing saw a picture of his wife walking down the red carpet with someone else. The setting was exaggerated, and the gowns they were wearing were gorgeous. Those who didn't know better would think that they were at a wedding. Cheng Mo's legs trembled in fear, and a layer of cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Pei Yuqing's expression didn't change at all. He tapped on his phone and read all sorts of gossip. K&O's newest spokesperson, Lin Yan. Lin Yan's real education is aerodynamics at MIT. K&O's CEO, Ji Mingzhi, has confessed to Lin Yan, claiming that she is his first love, and K&O's CEO has confessed that she can be KON's owner. Pei Yuqing's eyes trailed to the words boss of K&O, as his other hand drummed rhythmically on the coffee table. Cheng Imo swallowed his saliva and said carefully, "That's how the entertainment industry is. They like to write nonsense. It should be because of this spokesperson. Do you want me to take down these rumors?" Pei Yuqing returned the phone to Cheng Imo. "It's fine." Cheng Imo was impressed. His boss had promised Lin Yan that he wouldn't interfere with her work, so he hadn't done so. He was indeed the boss who could remain calm even under such circumstances. As Cheng Imo was lost in thought, Pei Yuqing, who had been fine earlier, suddenly lost consciousness and fainted on the couch. "Boss Pei. Boss Pei." Cloud Manor. Lin Yan relaxed as she took a shower and applied a facial mask. Then, she applied some light makeup. Then, she removed her bathrobe and got ready to change. She opened her wardrobe and picked out a light-colored dress. Just as she was about to put it on, she suddenly felt an extremely familiar sensation. Lin Yan's hair stood on end as an ominous premonition filled her. Sure enough, before she could react, her vision went black. Her hand that was holding the dress suddenly lost its strength, and the dress fell onto the bed. A second later, she lost control of her body, and her consciousness seemed to float in the air. Chapter 1077. Lin Yan had already known that Pei Yuqing was the one who had possessed her, so she had been mentally prepared. But at this moment, she really couldn't calm down at all. Because at this moment, her body was almost naked, and she was only wearing her underwear. Ah. Lin Yan tried her best to return to her body. She had succeeded in the past. However, she failed this time. She couldn't go back no matter what. In the end, Lin Yan could only give up. She held on to a glimmer of hope and tried to talk to the consciousness that had taken control of her body. Pei Yucheng. Perhaps she was just out of her mind and it wasn't Pei Yucheng? The air was silent for a few seconds. Then, her body replied in Pei Yucheng's voice. It's me. Lin Yan was instantly filled with despair. She was rendered speechless. Pei Yucheng, who hadn't expected this to happen, sounded a little awkward. Sorry. As soon as he finished speaking, he quickly waved his hand and pulled the skirt beside him. Lin Yan had chosen an open-neck dress that looked like a coat. She just needed to put it on with a belt. Pei Yucheng put it on quickly. Lin Yan wanted to cry, but no tears came out. The person who had possessed her was a lecher or a vixen. After putting on her clothes, Lin Yan complained, "Didn't you promise me that you wouldn't possess me again?" Pei Yucheng had already regained his composure. I'm sorry. However, there are some situations that I can't control. Lin Yan sobbed. How could you do that? Under what circumstances would you not be able to control yourself? Pei Yucheng replied, when I miss you, I might be disturbed or stimulated by some external force. Lin Yan was puzzled. What do you mean by external force? For example. Pei Yucheng replied, for example, jealousy. Lin Yan was stunned. At the same time, Lin Yan suddenly felt guilty. Could Pei Yucheng have found out something? Not long ago, Ji Mingzhi had confessed to her in front of everyone. Now, Xiao Ji had appeared, which made her tremble in fear. Pei Yucheng didn't know what it was. He picked up a towel to dry Lin Yan's hair as he asked, how did the two of you meet? Lin Yan couldn't control her emotions under such circumstances. Without thinking, she replied, Air. Which one are you referring to? Pei Yucheng's fingers paused as he asked softly, it seems like there's more than one. If Lin Yan had been in her own body, she would have slapped herself. F***ck. Who would betray themselves like that? Lin Yan felt like dying. She tried her best to control her consciousness so that it wouldn't fly around. Well, there are indeed two of them, but it really has nothing to do with me. I don't even remember who the first one is. At the press conference, he suddenly said that I was his first love and even confessed to me. I was also dumbfounded. The other one is a guy with a mental problem. I don't think anyone with a normal brain would fall in love with him, is that so? Pei Yucheng paused for a moment before he replied casually, that better be the case. Otherwise, I'm afraid there will be trouble. Lin Yan was puzzled. Huh? What trouble? Pei Yucheng replied casually, I've said that my consciousness is occasionally out of my control. If you're with another man, I might possess your body at an inopportune time. He continued to write. There would be more kisses later. End of this chapter. Chapter 1078. Lin Yan's brain crashed when she heard Pei Yucheng's words. All sorts of images flashed through her mind. She tried to imagine what would happen if she was with another man. What if Pei Yucheng suddenly appeared when they were doing something intimate? What would happen? She couldn't imagine it at all. Lin Yan was scared out of her wits. That's impossible. I would never fall for someone else. Pei Yucheng seemed to like the girl's words. His voice softened as he said, I'll probably be back tomorrow. Do you miss me? Lin Yan hurriedly tried to flatter him. Of course I do. I really do. Oh. How many times have you missed me? Pei Yucheng clearly didn't believe her. It was good enough that she would think of him once when she was busy. Lin Yan, who had activated her survival instinct, replied without hesitation, I missed you once. For 24 hours at a time. Ha. Pei Yucheng chuckled softly as he listened to the girl's sweet words. Lin Yan's heart melted at her own voice. After Pei Yucheng blow-dried her hair, Lin Yan waited for a long time, but it didn't return to her body. She couldn't help but ask, "When are you leaving?" "Don't misunderstand. I'm not chasing you away. I just have work to do tonight." "Do you need help?" "Do you need help?" asked Pei Yucheng. No, there's no need. I don't need help." Lin Yan rejected him hastily. She was glad that she hadn't accepted any help tonight. Lin Yan explained, "I have to do a live stream with my fans tonight." Pei Yucheng asked, "A live stream?" "Yeah, it will start at 8 p.m. The official announcement has already been made, so I can't change the time. If I stand up, Sister Ling will scold me. It's already 7:50 p.m. It will start in 10 minutes. What should I do?" Lin Yan sounded anxious. Suddenly, Lin Yan thought of something and asked tentatively, "Pei Yucheng, do you know how to do a live stream? Why don't you help me? Anyway, no one will know that I have a new heart in my body." "I don't know. But I can try." "Teach me," said Pei Yucheng. All right then. I guess that's the only way." Lin Yan didn't have time to think. She hurriedly taught Pei Yucheng how to do the live stream. She had already prepared the platform for the live stream. You can't edit the live stream, so you have to watch what you say later. Take a look at this document. Sister Ling gave it to me. There are some topics that you shouldn't talk about. Take a look, alright. Also, if the fans bring up any sensitive issues, such as, my relationship with other actors or partners, just be vague about it. Lin Yan knew that the incident had blown up a few days ago, so the fans would definitely bring up this issue. Hence, she had no choice but to inform him in advance. Sure. It's more relaxing to broadcast at home. Later, just chat with your fans casually and answer their bullet screen questions. Don't say a word without saying a word. 10 minutes passed in a blink of an eye, and the live stream began. Pei Yucheng pressed the start button and appeared on the live stream screen. Zhao Hongling had already started the live stream, so a huge number of fans swarmed in immediately. "Ah! Honey, you're finally streaming. Honey, you're so beautiful. Honey, look at me. Honey, you're finally streaming." Pei Yucheng raised his eyebrows as he studied the images of his wives on the screen. His tone was playful. "Wife?" This was an ordinary and subtle gesture, but it was full of charm when he did it. The fans who were watching the live stream went crazy. Ah! Oh my God! Lin Yan's gaze was so cool. She was so cool. That's right. You're my wife. I'll only marry you in this lifetime. Lin Yan looked at the comments awkwardly and hurriedly explained to Pei Yucheng, "It's just a fan's nickname, I see." Pei Yucheng nodded and greeted his fans. "Hello." Pei Yucheng didn't look like this was the first time he had done a live stream. He looked relaxed and calm. Although he was using Lin Yan's body, his domineering aura couldn't be concealed at all. His fans were cheering excitedly. "Ah! Why is my baby so cool today? She's like a domineering president, Lin Pianruo. I love you so much. I don't want you to be my wife anymore. Be my father." Chapter 1079. She had no idea who had started it, but all the fans had started addressing Lin Yan as Daddy. Lin Yan stared at the screen filled with the words Daddy, in disbelief. Pei Yucheng had merely shown up and greeted them. How had he elevated her seniority to that of a father? "Daddy, why is there an 8 trigrams mirror behind you? There seems to be a string of garlic?" Lin Yan's back stiffened when she read the comments. She hadn't even cleaned up the house. How was she going to explain this? "It's a personal hobby," Pei Yucheng replied calmly, as though he was saying that the weather was good today. The viewers burst into laughter when they heard Lin Yan's reply. "This hobby is so funny. Ha 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 ha, Daddy, my family sells garlic. If you like it, I will buy all your garlic for the rest of your life. My grandfather is a Taoist priest. Daddy, what else do you like? I will get it for you. Lin Yan was speechless as she read the comments. Alright, that was a reasonable explanation. It was better than telling the truth. Lin Yan comforted herself. Daddy, where do you live? It looks so luxurious. I think I can see Breeze Mountain. That area is full of luxurious houses, and they are priceless. Everyone who lives there is a big shot. Daddy, where do you live? Seriously? It was pitch black, and there was only a slit in the curtains. How could he tell? Are the netizens all so observant? Pei Yuqing replied, sorry, it's a private residence. Pei Yuqing evaded the question ambiguously, and the fans were considerate enough not to probe further. Ah, baby, your lipstick looks so good today. I'm begging for a lipstick. Is there anyone who knows? Lin Yan read the comments and hurriedly wanted to remind Pei Yuqing how to answer them. Before she could do so, Pei Yuqing answered a fan's question. Nature Hall's 520 Poetry Lipstick and 502 Cinnamon Nude. Lin Yan was taken aback when she heard Pei Yuqing's precise description of her lipstick. How did Pei Yuqing know this? Pei Yuqing's fans bombarded the screen with comments. I also bought this one. It's a very gentle color number. The other two colors in this gift box, 302 Carat Color and 70 China Red, are also very nice. The packaging of this set of lipsticks is very exquisite. It's very suitable for girls. Bye. I'm going to eat this wave of grass. Lin Yan noticed that everyone's reaction was pretty good, so she told Pei Yuqing, Sister Ling said that I can use some gifts for the lucky draw. I have a new set of lipsticks in my drawer. Pei Yuqing's eyes narrowed. As the live stream was on, he couldn't speak or communicate with Lin Yan. He could read Lin Yan's consciousness, but Lin Yan couldn't read his. Pei Yuqing whipped out a pen and wrote on the notebook. This looks like a 520 Valentine's Day gift. Who bought it for you? Lin Yan read Pei Yuqing's question and replied, no one. I bought it myself. Pei Yuqing sighed heavily as he continued to write. Miss Lin, you seem to forget that you have a boyfriend. Chapter 1080. Lin Yan muttered under her breath, who said that lipstick has to be given to me by my boyfriend? Pei Yuqing sighed softly, looking rather helpless. The fans could only see Lin Yan writing and drawing, but they didn't know what she was writing. Hence, they were curious. Everyone was about to ask more questions when Pei Yuqing took out the lipstick and said that he would be giving away a set of it for the lucky draw. Thus, the fans' attention was diverted. The exquisite design of the retro red gift box had the words, "Love doesn't know where it started, but it goes deep." It was a very romantic design, and the three dazzling lipsticks were all in the shape of a shiny heart. They were very beautiful. The fans began to comment furiously on the screen. Pei Yuqing scanned the screen and selected a fan with the ID, I bet that Lin Yan is the lady boss of JM Corporation. Lin Yan was shocked when she saw this ID. Friend, you're really a living god. Bet that she was the lady boss of JM Corporation? How dare she even think about it? Pei Yuqing had chosen this ID instead of anyone else. What was he trying to do? This eye-opening ID successfully caused a heated discussion among the fans in the live broadcast room. Ha ha ha. This fan's ID is too much. How dare she bet on this? I bet that Lin Yan is the lady boss of KNO. I bet 1 yuan. Daddy, are you really going to be the lady boss of KNO? Finally, in the end, Lin Yan was still faced with this question. Pei Yuqing leaned back in his chair and faced the camera. He tapped his fingers on the armrest as he said, I hope that no one will believe in rumors. Lin Yan coughed and coughed. What the F***ck did he mean by saying that? The fans were amused by Lin Yan's words. Although Lin Yan had denied it, she had used a tactful and acceptable method. After all, she had just worked with K&O, so it wasn't appropriate for her to make things look ugly. Lin Yan was impressed by her PR skills and answers. After Lin Yan answered every question, the fans suddenly let loose and started asking questions. Daddy, what's your relationship with Pei Nanshu? I really think that the two of you are a good match. There have been rumors about the two of you. Everyone says that Mr. Pei took special care of you in the company. Dad, there are rumors that you and Shen Qiaomu are dating. Is that true? It can't be Han Yishuan, right? In the past, I thought that Lin Yan was the one who threw herself at Han Yishuan. However, based on Lin Yan's looks, why do I feel that there's something going on between them? Why are they all asking about Ji Mingzhi, Shen Qiaomu, and Han Yishuan? Does Wei Shufeng not deserve a name? Lin Yan couldn't even look at the comments anymore. How was this a live broadcast? It was practically an execution ground. Lin Yan stared at the faint smile on her face and felt a chill run down her spine. The corners of Pei Yuqing's mouth curled upwards as he chuckled softly. Since everyone is so concerned about this, I would like to tell you which family I belong to. Even Lin Yan was scared out of her wits when she heard him. Holy shit. Boss, calm down. Don't tell me you're going to blow yourself up. This was a live broadcast. A live broadcast with tens of millions of viewers. Daddy, what do you mean? What do you mean by, tell us? Which family are you? What did I just hear? No way. Daddy. Are you going to blow yourself up? Daddy, are you going to make an official announcement? La la la. It's almost 520. Is everyone satisfied with today's PDA? I wish everyone a happy 520. I'm going to give everyone a small bonus. Pick one of your babies from the comments and you will receive a gift box of Nature Hall's 520 Poetry Lipstick. This gift box is currently in pre-sale. Once it's shipped, I will mail it out from Tmall's flagship store. Then, this chapter will draw 10 more pets, and each of them will receive 520 book coins. The system is set to automatically distribute the coins, and the 520 book coins will be drawn. End of this chapter. Chapter 1081. Since everyone is so concerned about this, I would like to tell you which family I belong to. Lin Yan was scared out of her wits when she heard his words. Okay, that wasn't right. She was scared out of her wits. Daddy. Calm down. Lin Yan was so agitated that she started to call Pei Yuqing Daddy. Don't expose yourself. This is a live stream. Please, Daddy. The worst decision she had ever made was to let Pei Yuqing live stream her. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have taken the risk even if she had to stand her fans up. Pei Yuqing had possessed her and asked her out. He had cooked for her and bought her a birthday present. That was enough to change her perception of herself. Never in her wildest dreams did she expect that he would be able to manipulate her to such an extent that she was forced to expose herself. Pei Yuqing, you promised me. Lin Yan cried out anxiously. Pei Yuqing's smile was still terrifying, but it didn't reach his eyes. He wrote on the piece of paper. Pei Yuqing was the one who promised you. In a sense, I didn't go back on my word. Lin Yan was speechless. Big brother, make it simple. The way to fall in love was simple. She couldn't take it anymore. Lin Yan was stunned by Pei Yuqing's words. Big brother, you can't do this. While Lin Yan was communicating with Pei Yuqing, the comments section was exploding. Her other phone kept ringing. It was a call from Zhao Hongling. She didn't need to check to know that Zhao Hongling was going to scold her. Lin Yan tried her best to return to her body. She swore that she had never felt so strong before. However, it was useless this time. She couldn't return to her body at all. It was as though she was being suppressed by an invisible force. Lin Yan replied, "You promised that you wouldn't possess me again. Then, you said that you couldn't control yourself. What about now? You can't control yourself as well?" She could clearly feel that her consciousness was being suppressed. It couldn't be an illusion. Pei Yucheng's words were forceful and forceful. Not now. Now, it's my subjective will. In other words, it was his handwriting that didn't want to leave. Lin Yan was infuriated by Pei Yucheng's matter-of-fact attitude. Pei Yucheng. Just as Lin Yan was about to lose her consciousness, Pei Yucheng removed his earpiece. After taking off the headset, his words could not be heard clearly in the live broadcast room. Then, Pei Yucheng spoke lazily to Lin Yan, who was fuming with rage in his mind. His voice was as deep as a cello's. If Miss Lin is willing to call me husband, I can consider it. Lin Yan was speechless. What? Lin Yan was a straightforward girl, so she hated being coy. Hence, when she had addressed Pei Yucheng as Mr. Pei and Miss Lin, she had felt comfortable interacting with him. Even the slightest bit of intimacy would make her feel uncomfortable. For example, Lin Shia could call Han Yishuan Big Brother Yishuan, but she would never call him Big Brother. The only thing she could accept was a name. So, for her to call him her hubby, such a cheesy title, what kind of joke was this? Lin Yan got goosebumps just thinking about it. Lin Yan replied, "Are you kidding me? Even if my brain was crushed by Pei Yutang's car, would never call him that." Chapter 1082. Pei Yucheng listened helplessly to the girl's words. Although he had lost his memory, he hadn't changed at all. He was just exercising his legitimate rights. As soon as he removed his earpiece, the live stream room exploded with activity. Why did Sister Yen remove her earpiece? What happened? Daddy seemed to have said something. His expression was superb. What did Lin Yen say? I'm so curious. Does anyone know how to read lips? Judging from the shape of his mouth, he seems to be saying, "Call me," or something. Lin Yan's heart was pounding as she read the comments. The netizens were too smart. Could someone really have figured it out? The atmosphere in the live broadcast room was very lively. Suddenly, the special effect of 10 consecutive rockets flashed. The big screen showed that KNO's Sun and Moon Are You had rewarded you with a rocket. Rockets were the biggest gift. Unless one was a tycoon, no one would gift anyone. The fact that this person had sent 10 rockets in a row instantly caught the attention of the fans. Wow! 10 rockets. Where did this tycoon come from? KNO's Sun and Moon belong to you? What did I discover? Also, isn't the sun and moon the same as the word Ming? No. Ming. KNO's president, Ji Mingzhi. Ha ha ha. That's right. It must be him. This hint is obvious. Ha ha ha. This isn't a hint. It's obvious. While the fans were gossiping, the ID posted a message, "Thank you, everyone, for supporting Lin Yan's live stream." Initially, everyone had been guessing. However, the moment this message appeared, it was confirmed. Wow! It's really President Ji. The boss is spoiling her too much. He personally came to the live stream to support her. I'm so jealous. I suddenly feel a little cute. What's wrong with this couple? A straight A couple is indeed cute. Plus, it's a pure school love. Pei Yucheng narrowed his eyes as he glanced at the screen. KNO's Sun and Moon Belong to You was replying to the netizens' comments. Lin Yan is my junior, KNO's business partner, and I love her. Of course, I have to support her. Little Yen is indeed my first love. It's a pity that little Yen doesn't seem to remember me anymore. But it doesn't matter. From now on, she can get to know me again. Are they a good match? I think so too. Thank you all for thinking this way. You guys have good taste, haha. As Ji Mingzhi commented, he sent more than a dozen rockets to Lin Yan's fans. He looked as though he was declaring his ownership. Lin Yan was mesmerized by the overwhelming number of rockets. It took her a long time to snap out of her daze, and a sense of danger welled up in her heart. She glanced at Pei Yuqing on the screen and had a bad feeling about this. Ji Mingzhi was still courting death at a time like this. A netizen asked, "You're the president of KNO. Do you really intend to marry Lin Yan and make her the boss of KNO?" KNO's bright moon is yours replied, "I've said that as long as she agrees, she can become the boss of KNO at any time. My words will always be valid." Pfft. Pei Yuqing was about to be cuckolded by his love rival. Pei Yuqing chuckled softly. Lin Yan's hair stood on end when she heard his chuckle. A second later, Pei Yuqing said softly, "Is this Mr. Ji?" Ji Mingzhi replied excitedly, "Little Yan, I'm here." The comments section was filled with excitement as they gossiped about what Lin Yan was about to say. Wow! Is my cute CP going to send candy? Lin Yan, who sensed that something was amiss, felt so nervous that she was about to explode. Hey! Pei Yuqing. Are you serious? Pei Yuqing paused and looked nonchalant. Mr. Ji, I think there's something I should make clear to you. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yuqing replied, "This is a question that everyone is concerned about." Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yuqing replied, "It's about whose boss I am." Lin Yan yelled, "Hubby." Pei Yuqing was speechless. Chapter 1083. Lin Yan's shout successfully interrupted Pei Yuqing. A second later, Lin Yan was pleasantly surprised to discover that she had regained control of her body. Was calling him hubby that useful? It had actually shaken Pei Yuqing's consciousness out. Lin Yan hurriedly replied as she read the comments, "All right, it's about time. Let's end our conversation here. Thank you, President Ji, for your gifts. All the gifts will be used for charity. Thank you, President Ji, for your contributions to charity." Lin Yan drew a line between herself and Ji Mingzhi and said, "About the question that all of you are concerned about, I will let my future husband answer it." Lin Yan hurriedly left the message and went offline. She didn't dare linger. What if Pei Yuqing possessed her again? Lin Yan had just gone offline when she received a call from Pei Yuqing's assistant, Ching Imo. Why was Ching Imo calling her now? Lin Yan answered the call suspiciously. Ching Mo's voice sounded as though the sky had fallen. "Miss Lin. Bad news. President Pei fainted because of you." Lin Yan was puzzled. What? Pei Yuqing had fainted because of her? Ching Imo panicked. After Boss Pei saw the news about you and Ji Mingzhi on the internet, he suddenly fainted and lost consciousness. He's currently being resuscitated in the hospital, and the doctor said that he's not even breathing. They've already issued a critical. Are you awake? Ching Imo, who was on the other end of the line, suddenly spoke excitedly. Pei Yuqing seemed to have woken up. Hence, he hurriedly said, "Miss Lin, President Pei is awake. I'll call you later." Ching Imo hung up after speaking. Lin Yan stared at her phone for a while, trying to figure out what had happened. Pei Yuqing had been agitated and jealous because he had read the news about her and Ji Mingzhi. Now, because she had called him hubby, his consciousness had returned. Lin Yan was lost in her thoughts when her phone rang again. This time, it was Pei Yuqing. "Are you all right?" Lin Yan asked with concern. "Will your consciousness affect your body?" Assistant Ching said that you suddenly fainted and even stopped breathing. Pei Yuqing grinned. Ching Imo didn't say why I fainted. Lin Yan coughed softly. "Well, I really have nothing to do with Ji Mingzhi. He kept saying that I was his first love and that he had wooed me in college. He even said that he had a high school sweetheart with me. However, I don't remember anything. Perhaps it's because my brain was damaged during the car accident. Of course, even if my memory wasn't damaged, I probably wouldn't remember. Actually, this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. People often gossiped with her about who liked her, and some of her friends even said who had been chasing her for a long time, but the problem was that she couldn't tell that someone liked her. She didn't even know that the other party was chasing her. Pei Yucheng didn't know if he should feel helpless or relieved. So don't be angry. Your body has just recovered a little. Don't worsen. Lin Yan sounded worried. She's fine now. Pei Yucheng paused before he added, of course, if you can address her as Miss Lin again, it will help the patient's emotions. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yucheng seemed to have predicted Lin Yan's reaction. He chuckled softly and said, all right, I won't disturb you anymore. Rest early. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief. Ahem. You should rest early too. Good night. Pei Yucheng replied, good night, Mrs. Lin. Lin Yan was speechless. Second embarrassment. That's why I said that Lu Tingxiao relied on his EQ to woo his wife, Si Yihan relied on his looks, and Pei Yucheng relied on his shamelessness. Oh, asterisk asterisk asterisk. Oh, end of this chapter. Chapter 1084. The live stream last night had sent Lin Yan to the top of the search rankings once again. Lin Yan sighed helplessly as she read the content on her phone. This time, the content was even more outrageous. KNO's president, Ji Mingzhi, had personally come to the live stream to confess. Lin Yan hurriedly left the live stream in embarrassment. Shortly after, Lin Yan received a call from Ji Mingzhi. Miss Lin, are you free today? Do you want to have dinner together? Ji Mingzhi's voice rang out. Lin Yan fell silent for a moment before she asked softly, is it business? No, I just want to treat you to a meal. Lin Yan replied awkwardly, I can't do that today. The team needs to be reorganized. Ji Mingzhi was taken aback. A convoy? What team? Before Lin Yan could reply, Ji Mingzhi suddenly chuckled. I suddenly remembered that you have your own team. What about tomorrow? Are you free? I don't have much time tomorrow, Lin Yan replied softly. If she were to be possessed by Pei Yucheng while she was eating with Ji Mingzhi, the scene would be too beautiful to imagine. As long as it wasn't business, she would try her best to avoid it. After hanging up, Lin Yan planned to head to the company. She had already settled the matter with the racing team, so she had to take responsibility. The matter with the Aurora team had been delayed for a few days. On the way out, Lin Yan felt that something was amiss. After scrutinizing it for a long time, she realized that there was a new manor on the right side of Cloud Manor. It was still under construction. Lin Yan was a little surprised when she saw this. Wasn't this too exaggerated? This scale was comparable to Cloud Manor. Lin Yan couldn't help but be curious. Which tycoon had built this? Besides, Lin Yan was puzzled. Why would they build it next to Cloud Manor? Lin Yan didn't think too much about this new manor. There was only one thought in her mind. When she arrived at the company, Qi Feng was the first to welcome her. Miss Lin, the team members you selected are all here. They have been waiting for you for a few days. Qi Feng walked over to Lin Yan and spoke softly. Lin Yan's gaze landed on Qi Feng, and she couldn't help but look strange. Miss Lin, why are you looking at me like that? Qi Feng stared at Lin Yan in confusion. Qi Feng, are you really a racer? Lin Yan frowned. Based on his understanding of Qi Feng was an evolver with a high evolutionary level. How could he be a racer? Qi Feng, who was taken aback, replied in confusion, of course I'm a racer. Miss Lin, why do you ask? Your evolution level isn't low, right? Lin Yan went straight to the point. Qi Feng smiled. So, Miss Lin, do you think that I'm an evolved person and why I became a professional racer? Qi Feng added, I'm an evolved being, but that doesn't stop me from becoming a professional racer. I've had a racing dream since I was young. Lin Yan glanced at Qi Feng. Didn't you have a martial arts dream since you were young? Qi Feng smiled. I've been fickle since I was young. Besides, Ms. Lin, you're also an evolved person. If you can become a professional racer, why can't I? Qi Feng said. Although there was nothing wrong with Qi Feng's words, Lin Yan felt that something was amiss. End of chapter. Chapter 1085. A good dog doesn't block the way. Zhang San walked out of the room with a broom and pushed Qi Feng, who was chatting with Lin Yan. Upon seeing this, Qi Feng looked at the cleaner, Zhang San, in confusion. What are you looking at? I'll gouge your eyeballs out, Zhang San hissed coldly. Before Qi Feng could speak, Zhang San's eyes landed on Lin Yan. Why haven't you shown your face these days? I have important information to tell you. Come to the cleaning department when you're free. Zhang San turned around and left. Miss Lin, is this the team's cleaner? Qi Feng glanced at Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded awkwardly. Zhang San was indeed Storm's cleaner. I've never seen such a cleaner before. What does he mean by information? Qi Feng stared at Lin Yan curiously. Lin Yan replied thoughtfully, perhaps the toilet is clogged. Qi Feng was speechless. What kind of information is that? Asked Qi Feng. Work information, replied Lin Yan. The corners of Qi Feng's mouth twitched. Whatever you say. After entering the office with Qi Feng, Lin Yan glanced around. Other than He Lifeng, all the racers she had appointed were there. However, these racers were all listless, as though they weren't interested in the new team. Hello, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I'm Lin Yan, the boss and captain of Storm. Lin Yan's gaze swept across the professional racers in the company and she chuckled softly. Everyone glanced at Lin Yan listlessly. Miss Lin, you must have a good relationship with the racing guild in China. Do you know the president? One of the racers sat up and spoke to Lin Yan. Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. However, he immediately understood the meaning behind those words. These racers must have thought that she had relied on her relationship with the racing guild in China to make a comeback. Otherwise, how could a racer, who wasn't even a substitute, become an official member of the team? The Chinese team had even allowed Lin Yan to choose any team member to join her team. I wonder what the higher-ups of the Chinese guild are thinking. A professional racer wearing a baseball cap sneered. It seems like China doesn't care about this year's international competition at all. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let us join Miss Lin's team. Zhou Yu, don't talk nonsense, Qi Feng said to Zhou Yu. Nonsense? The professional racer called Zhou Yu sneered. Qi Feng, how is this nonsense? Do you think that's not the truth? The international competition is divided into 3 levels, from the first level to the 3rd level. Our Miss Lin's racing team doesn't even qualify to participate in the 3rd level, let alone the 1st level. I heard that the president made an exception and gave her a spot in the 3rd level. How close is Miss Lin to the president? That's why we have to be careful with our words. Don't offend Miss Lin. Otherwise, if the president bears a grudge against us, we won't have a good time in the future. As his words faded, many people fell into silence. They really hadn't considered this problem. End of chapter. Chapter 1086. Needless to say, the woman in front of them must have a deep connection with the Chinese team. Aurora had just been established a few days ago, so they could only participate in some small competitions in the country. However, because of Lin Yan, the president had made an exception and allowed this team to qualify for the 3rd level of the international competition. If this team could achieve good results in the 3rd level, they could even participate in the 2nd or 1st level of the international competition. If they really offended this woman, the Chinese team would bear a grudge and seek revenge in the future. This was no laughing matter. Miss Lin, we are unlucky and afraid of you. Tell us what you need us to do. One of the professional racers glanced at Lin Yan and sighed helplessly. I don't think so. Lin Yan glanced at the professional racers and chuckled softly. Miss Lin, don't tell me you really think that you can really lead us to the 3rd level of the international competition? Zhou Yu asked Lin Yan. Perhaps it's the 1st level, replied Lin Yan. Everyone turned to look at each other in bewilderment. Was this woman crazy? Did she even know what an international competition was? The professional racers exchanged a smile but didn't refute Lin Yan. All right then, Miss Lin Yan. Do we need to train now? Zhou Yu glanced at Lin Yan. Lin Yan shook her head. There's no need for training. Lin Yan trusted these professional racers, so there was no need for any special training. What should we do then? Read a book or watch a movie to relax. Lin Yan grinned. Everyone sighed helplessly at Lin Yan's words. The world's top competition was about to begin, yet this woman didn't want them to train. Instead, she wanted them to read a book or watch a movie. However, after some thought, they realized that there was no hope of winning. They might as well read a book or watch a movie. Those foreign teams didn't take them seriously at all. Over the past few days, all the competent racing teams in China had more or less been challenged. Looking at the Polar Light Racing team, it was peaceful. Those who wanted to read were reading, and those who wanted to play games were playing games. There were no signs of them being challenged at all. Lin Yan turned on her computer and checked which foreign teams had come to the country recently. Miss Lin, what do you plan to do? Qi Feng pushed the door open and entered. Lin Yan glanced at Qi Feng and replied thoughtfully, just like I said, do what you have to do. Miss Lin, aren't you worried at all? Or are you too confident? Qi Feng asked curiously. You're an evolved being, but you're quite concerned about your side job. Lin Yan glanced at Qi Feng. Qi Feng sighed. It's not a sideline. I love racing, even though I'm not strong enough to shine in the international competition. Oh yeah, Miss Lin, your car is indeed very strong. Is it related to your evolved ability? Qi Feng stared at Lin Yan thoughtfully. However, on second thought, Qi Feng shook his head. Although evolved humans had an advantage in racing, it wasn't the deciding factor. Otherwise, he would be as famous as Yeva. Miss Lin, time is tight. Why don't I bring them down to train? I think our team's training ground is very luxurious. Qi Feng said. Sure. Lin Yan nodded. End of chapter. Chapter 1087. After Qi Feng left, Zhang San and Li Si sneakily pushed the door open and entered Lin Yan's office. Seniors, what was the information you mentioned earlier? Lin Yan's gaze landed on Zhang San and Li Si as she asked softly. Immediately, the two brothers looked around carefully. Lin Yan was speechless. Seniors, this is my office. No one else will be here. Lin Yan sighed. I'm afraid there are bugs, said Li Si. That's right. I've been bored recently, so I watched some blockbusters. Now, we're afraid of bugs. Zhang San nodded repeatedly. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. These two brothers had indeed watched too many movies. There's no bug here, Lin Yan assured them. All right then. Zhang San nodded and stared at Lin Yan. Little girl, let me tell you. We have a huge piece of information here. Sibai plans to play tricks on you. Lin Yan's expression changed slightly when she heard Zhang San. Sibai? The evolved being who had a macaw with him all day. She had chased him away twice. Little girl, I heard that you have a powerful evolved being by your side. Did you hire a bodyguard? Li Si glanced at Lin Yan curiously. I have a powerful evolved being by my side? Lin Yan was puzzled. She didn't have a powerful evolved being by her side other than Pei Yucheng. However, Pei Yucheng wasn't in the country at the moment. Who said that? Asked Lin Yan. Who else could it be? Sibai. He tried to capture you last time, but he failed. We heard from Sibai that you have a powerful evolved being by your side, so he failed, explained Zhang San. Lin Yan fell into deep thought. The two of them should be talking about the night that Sibai had attacked her again, but she had chased him away. Lin Yen couldn't help but smile. Sibai clearly couldn't defeat her. He had lost to her twice, but he refused to admit it. He insisted that she had a powerful evolved being by her side. Who was this powerful evolver? Was it Xing Chen or Ling Yu? Could it be Wang Jingyang? Little girl, what you said last time was right. That kid Sibai is not a good person at all. Not only did he fail a few times to deal with a little baby like you, he even wants to play dirty now. He's too much. Although we are members of the Hunters Guild branch and are insignificant compared to the headquarters, we still disdain to be associated with Sibai. Li Si snorted coldly. Lin Yen studied Zhang San and Li Si silently. Although the two of them were a little abnormal and looked silly, they had a rare sense of justice in their hearts. This surprised Lin Yen. Seniors, do you know what Sibai's next move will be? Lin Yen pondered for a moment before she asked. Although Lin Yen wasn't afraid of Sibai right now, as the old saying went, she wasn't afraid of a thief stealing, but she was afraid of a thief remembering. She didn't know Sibai at all, but that person kept pestering her and caused trouble for her several times. It was clearly a misunderstanding, but he didn't listen to her advice. I'm not sure what his next move will be, but he will definitely play dirty this time. He won't fight you head on. He will definitely catch you off guard. That's right, that's right. Little girl, you have to be careful. Sibai asked us to wait for his instructions. I don't know what he wants to do. However, I have a bold guess, said Zhang San. Chapter 1088. Senior Zhang San, please speak. Lin Yen glanced at Zhang San. Little girl, I reckon that Sibai is preparing to attack the people close to you to force you to submit. Zhang San thought for a moment and said. Lin Yen frowned when she heard Zhang San. Although Lin Yen didn't really believe Zhang San's conjecture, she was very worried. What if, do you have any sisters? I'm afraid Zhang San will attack them, said Li Si. Lin Yen, who was taken aback, replied, Oh. That's fine then, you're fine now? What do you mean? Zhang San didn't understand. Lin Yen grinned. Thank you for your hard work, seniors. If Sibai has any specific news, you can inform me at any time. If she could find out what Sibai planned to do next, she would naturally have a way to deal with it. Right now, Lin Yan's only concern was Muyan. She would have to trouble Xing Chen and Ling Yu to look after her mother for a while. Coincidentally, Muyan had been taking care of her grandfather in the hospital. She had protected him as well. All right, we'll go eat lunch first. Little girl, tell your good-for-nothing brother to prepare better meals. He eats more than anyone else and can't do anything, Zhang San muttered and left the office with Li Si. She dialed Wang Jingyang's number. That night, Wang Jingyang was also at the scene. Although he was wearing a black robe and his face could not be seen clearly, who knew if Sibai had eyes and ears? If he captured Wang Jingyang, it would really be difficult for her. Grandson, why are you looking for your grandfather? Wang Jingyang's voice rang through Lin Yan's phone. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. Doggy, are you itching for a beating after 3 days? Why are you looking for me? Hurry up and tell me, I have something to do here. Somewhere in China Wang Jingyang hid in the dark and answered Lin Yan's call cautiously. Go, Z, what can happen to you? You haven't been running around recently. Come to my company. I have to look after you. Wang Jingyang was stunned. Look at me. I'm AF * King adult. Do I need you to look after me? Do you think you're my mom? I'm your ancestor. Cut the crap. I told you to come, so come. What, you want to eat and sleep with me? That's not the point. Just tell me if you're going to sleep or not. Wang Jingyang said. I'll sleep with you. Wang Jingyang frowned and rubbed his ears, which had been shaken by Lin Yan's roar. Xiaoyan. I was wrong about you. How dare you plot against my boss? Lin Yen was speechless. Alright, cut the crap. I'll look for you later. I don't have time now. I'm hanging up and scram. Wang Jingyang hung up before Lin Yen could finish her sentence. After Lin Yen hung up, Wang Jingyang stared at the laboratory solemnly. Wang Jingyang did not expect this laboratory to be related to death. After so many years, he did not know much about death. Wang Jingyang was very concerned about the recent events. Some time ago, death had even approached Lin Yen. Wang Jingyang was confident that he would know if Lin Yen had anything to do with death. However, he didn't know, which meant that Lin Yen had nothing to do with death. There was only one thing that worried Wang Jingyang the most. He was afraid that death had discovered Lin Yan's secret. If that was the case, he would have to destroy death completely. Chapter 1089. Wang Jingyang had been waiting in the dark for a long time. He did not act rashly. Wang Jingyang was not familiar with death, an evolved human organization. Coupled with the rumors about the leader of death, Wang Jingyang was cautious. This evolver organization had always been very mysterious, especially since the she-devil had never shown her face in front of anyone. Wang Jingyang sneaked into the lab late at night. However, what surprised Wang Jingyang was that the lab was empty. Apart from some unknown equipment, there was not a single person. What the F***ck? Wang Jingyang looked at the empty lab with a dumbfounded expression. So he waited for so long, from day to night, to fight with the air? Wang Jingyang was dumbfounded for a long time before he accepted the truth. After a while, Wang Jingyang's face darkened. He wanted to open the door of the lab and leave, but the metal door seemed to have been welded shut. He could not open it at all. Before Wang Jingyang could think further, a giant screen in front of the lab suddenly turned on. On the screen was a young and beautiful girl. At that moment, the girl was looking at Wang Jingyang expressionlessly through the screen. Your Excellency, you have guts. After a long time, the girl's cold voice echoed throughout the entire lab. This scene caused Wang Jingyang's brows to furrow deeply. So, he was set up. This is a beautiful misunderstanding. Open the door first, I'll explain to you. Wang Jingyang looked at the girl on the screen and smiled softly. If I'm not mistaken, Your Excellency, you used to be a member of the Mountain Sea Organization, the Mountain Sea Heavenly Hound, the girl said expressionlessly. As the girl's voice fell, the smile on Wang Jingyang's face suddenly disappeared. Heh, death really has eyes and ears everywhere. You even know my identity. A cold light flashed in Wang Jingyang's eyes. Since you know who I am, you should know that this place can't trap me. I have 2 suggestions. The girl stared at Wang Jingyang and said calmly. Let's hear it, Wang Jingyang said. Join us, or disappear from this world, the girl said. Hearing the girl's words, Wang Jingyang smirked. I can join you, but will you let me be your boss? If you recognize me as your boss, everything will be fine. So, you'd rather disappear from this world, the girl said. Since you don't want to open the door, then don't accuse me of destroying property. Wang Jingyang turned around, walked to the door, and immediately punched out. With a loud bang, the iron door of the laboratory was shattered by Wang Jingyang's punch. However, just as Wang Jingyang walked out of the lab, a large number of evolved humans swarmed in from all directions. These evolvers did not move forward. Instead, they spread out in every corner and completely sealed off all the exits. Seeing this, Wang Jingyang sighed. There are so many people here. I wouldn't have come if I had known. Wang Jingyang looked around helplessly. Is there anyone in charge? There's no need to send these small fries to their deaths. Wang Jingyang stood where he was and spoke indifferently. As soon as Wang Jingyang finished speaking, several old men walked out from the darkness. In the middle of these old men was the cold girl who appeared on the screen in the laboratory. Seeing this, Wang Jingyang's lips curled up slightly. His gaze landed on the girl. Are you the legendary she-devil of death? Shanhai Tengu, you shouldn't have provoked us, death. One of the elders said coldly. End of chapter. Chapter 1090. Wang Jingyang chuckled softly. He didn't seem to care about the old man's words. He glanced at the evolved beings in the dark and asked curiously, what exactly does death do? There must be many laboratories like this. If you're willing to join death, you'll naturally know all our secrets. Are you interested? The girl, who was surrounded by a few old men, spoke expressionlessly. Yes. Wang Jingyang grinned. Do you want me to be your big brother? If all of you acknowledge me as your big brother, there won't be a problem. The young lady's eyes lit up when she heard that. She looked at Wang Jingyang thoughtfully. Tell me, why did death cause trouble for my friend? Wang Jingyang grinned. The purpose of his trip was to find out the truth. This has nothing to do with you. Since you're unwilling to join death, you'll only be a hindrance. It's best that you walk right into the trap today, the girl replied calmly. Walk right into the trap? Wang Jingyang eyed the girl with interest. You're too arrogant. Buy some toothpaste and try it. You must have a death wish. The few old men darted to Wang Jingyang's side at lightning speed. However, in at most a few breaths of time, the elders were forced to retreat step by step. They were practically unable to retaliate at all. That's it? Wang Jingyang glanced at them and sneered coldly. You're no match for him. Step down, the girl said. Are you going to do it yourself? Hearing the girl's words, one of the old men was surprised. Yeah, the girl replied. The elders looked at each other in dismay. If anything went wrong, they would have to bear the consequences. This girl was the perfect fourth-generation test subject. Step down, the girl said. The old men had no choice but to retreat. At this moment, the girl took a step forward. Her speed was so fast that it was shocking. Like a gentle breeze, she arrived beside Wang Jingyang in an instant. I'm the perfect fourth-generation test subject. The girl's eyes met Wang Jingyang's. Test subject? Wang Jingyang studied the young man carefully. No way. Are you a robot? How can there be such advanced technology? How dare you? One of the elders shouted coldly. The young man waved his hand, signaling the old man to stop talking. He then looked at Wang Jingyang and said, I'm not a robot. I became an evolved human through a lab. Before me, there were 3 generations of evolved humans. I'm the 4th generation. Oh, I see. Wang Jingyang stared at the girl. What does this have to do with me? If you are willing, you can become our 5th generation experimental subject. You might become even stronger than me, the young girl said. You want me to become a guinea pig? Wang Jingyang was astonished. Immediately after, he flicked his finger at the girl's forehead at an extremely fast speed. In the next second, there was a loud bang, and the girl was sent flying by Wang Jingyang's finger. He doesn't have a fever, Wang Jingyang muttered to himself as he watched the young man fly away. Seeing this, the elders immediately went forward to help the girl up. Shanghai lives up to its reputation. I've heard since I was young that every member has the terrifying power of an evolved human. There was a trace of blood at the corner of the girl's mouth, but there was no sign of pain on her face. Wang Jingyang looked at the girl and said, Little girl, I've been merciful just now. You better answer my questions honestly. You only have one life. Didn't your mother teach you to cherish it? End of this chapter. Chapter 1091. I don't have a mother, the girl told Wang Jingyang expressionlessly. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Was it important whether she had a mother or not? What did it have to do with him that she didn't have a mother? He wasn't her father. Before Wang Jingyang could reply, the girl added, You're really powerful, but unfortunately, you're no match for me." As soon as she said that, a terrifying evolved power surged from her body and engulfed the entire place like a thunderstorm. Wang Jingyang couldn't help but frown when he sensed this power. Is this a level 3 gene? No one was more familiar with the power of level 3 evolution than Wang Jingyang. One's body had to evolve to its limit to unlock the gene. Very few evolved people had the ability to unlock a level 3 gene. Every time they unlocked a gene, the gene cells in their body would start to burn. When the level 3 gene was unlocked, they would temporarily possess godlike power. The evolved person who unlocked the level 3 gene would die because his gene cells were burned to ashes. Wang Jingyang hadn't expected that this girl would be an evolved person and she had unlocked her level 1 gene. Wang Jingyang had also unlocked his level 1 gene when he had fought Pei Yuqing overseas. Heavenly Hound of the Mountains and Seas, this is my level 1 gene. If you're strong enough, I can unlock the second or even the third gene. I hope you won't disappoint me. The girl walked toward Wang Jingyang expressionlessly. Wang Jingyang couldn't help but look puzzled. He couldn't understand. Throughout the ages, there had been many evolved people who had a level 3 gene, but they had only appeared once in a generation. At the very least, Wang Jingyang had never heard of another evolved person who had mastered a level 3 gene in this era. You're confused, aren't you? The girl noticed Wang Jingyang's strange expression and said softly, as someone who has mastered a level 3 gene, you can't understand why there's another person besides you in this era who has mastered a level 3 gene. You know that I have a level 3 gene. Wang Jingyang's deep gaze landed on the girl. Of course, I know everything about you, because your blood flows in my body, the girl said softly. Wang Jingyang's expression changed when he heard the girl's words. What had she just said? His blood flowed in her body? Wang Jingyang's mind raced. What had he done all these years? But no matter how he thought about it, he could swear to the heavens that he had absolutely not done anything. He was not even interested in touching a woman's hand. He was absolutely innocent. No matter how you deny it, it's the truth, and it's a fact that can't be changed. Your blood does flow in my body, and I have your genes, the girl said to Wang Jingyang. I'll say it again, I'm not your father, Wang Jingyang said coldly. Was there something wrong with this girl's head? He had never met her before, yet she was already calling him father. If he had really done something improper in the past, he might have been confused for a moment. However, he had never touched any woman since he was young. How could he suddenly have such a grown-up daughter? He had become a father out of the blue. This was simply intolerable. Moreover, how was this girl similar to him? Moreover, how old was he? It was even more impossible for him to have a daughter this old. End of chapter. Chapter 1092. No matter how angry or confused you are, this is the truth. You can't change it, said the girl. Don't slander me. I'm not your father. Wang Jingyang frowned. Of course you're not my father. The girl looked at Wang Jingyang coldly. It's just that I have your genes in my body. The reason I was able to become the perfect 4th generation test subject was because of your genes. Since I have your genes, it's only natural for me to be able to control a level 3 gene. Wang Jingyang heaved a sigh of relief. He had been wondering why he hadn't even been interested in touching a girl's hand. Why had he suddenly had a daughter? Wait, you said that you have my genes. Wang Jingyang frowned. Who are you? Or rather, who is your leader? How did he get my genes? The girl's words caused Wang Jingyang to be even more astonished. If there was only one person who had the chance to obtain his genes and he hadn't been wary of her, Lin Yan's face surfaced in Wang Jingyang's mind. If someone had wanted to obtain his genes, there had only been one time. A few years ago, he had evolved to a new level and his body couldn't take it in a short period of time. His body had been on the verge of collapse and Lin Yan, who had been unaware, had sent him to the hospital. If someone had wanted to obtain his blood and genes, it had been Lin Yan. He had never been wary of Lin Yan, especially when he had been at his weakest. He could easily sense anyone approaching him, be it an evolved being or an ordinary person. Even when he had been unconscious in the hospital, he had been no exception. Hence, even when he had been at his weakest in the hospital, it had been impossible for anyone to approach him and obtain his blood and genes, except for Lin Yen. You said that you have my blood flowing in your body and my genes. Do you think it's easy for an evolved being like me to be obtained by others? Wang Jingyang sneered coldly. He didn't believe the girl's words, and he had said those words to trick her. It might be difficult for others. The girl glanced at Wang Jingyang expressionlessly. However, it's very simple for you, Master. Master. So, who is he? Asked Wang Jingyang. You are not qualified to know, the girl said. Hearing this, Wang Jingyang sighed and pinched his forehead with a slight headache. How heartless. You don't recognize me as your father so soon. I'll kill you and replace you, the girl said. From now on, I'll be the only one in the world who can control a rank 3 gene. As soon as she finished speaking, she'd already flashed over to Wang Jingyang's side, and then she swung her fist out. The extremely terrifying power of an evolved being completely dispersed at this moment. Boom! A deafening explosion resounded. Wang Jingyang and the girl's fists collided like falling stars. In the next second, just like before, the girl was instantly sent flying. Wang Jingyang stood where he was and looked at the puzzled girl behind him. He said calmly, You have indeed mastered rank 3 gene, but if you want to kill me, you'll have to wait another 1,000 years. How is this possible? Master has already unlocked the first gene, but he was still sent flying by the Mountain Sea Heavenly Hound in his normal state. One of the elders was astonished. Chapter 1093. The girl stared at Wang Jingyang, who was handling the situation with ease. Although she had been sent flying twice by Wang Jingyang, there was no expression on her face. If your basic strength is 10, even if you activate your rank 3 gene and multiply your combat power by 100, you will only have a combat power of 1,000 at most. Wang Jingyang's gaze fell on the girl and he smiled faintly. If my basic combat power is 10,000, and you have 1,000 combat power after activating your rank 3 gene, how can you defeat me, who has a combat power of 10,000? The difference in their basic strength was too great. Even if the girl's evolution power soared after activating her rank 3 gene, she would still be no match for Wang Jingyang. Do you know a lot about rank 3 gene? The girl looked at Wang Jingyang and asked. Without giving Wang Jingyang a chance to speak, the girl's expression finally changed slightly, but she quickly hid it. If it wasn't for your blood gene, I wouldn't have a rank 3 gene. The only difference is that I know more about rank 3 gene than you do. Hearing this, Wang Jingyang smiled and said, You really know how to boast. This was the first time Wang Jingyang had heard of someone claiming to know more about rank 3 gene than him. I have your genes and blood. Unfortunately, after you activate your rank 2 gene, your body will pay a huge price and become an ordinary person. If you activate your rank 3 gene, you will definitely die. As for me, I don't have to pay any price. As soon as the girl's voice fell, her aura once again underwent an earth-shattering change. At this moment, the girl's long hair danced in the air, and her clothes fluttered. An invisible airwave surged from her body in all directions. Dust flew everywhere, and the giant trees in the surroundings were cut in half by the airwave. In the midst of the gray haze, it was as if an ancient beast had awakened. The terrifying power of the evolver lingered for a long time, and the surrounding elders revealed looks of horror. They were afraid that they would suffer an unexpected disaster, so they hurriedly retreated. This is a rank 3 gene. You've never seen it before, right? The girl's deep gaze fell on Wang Jingyang. It was just a sentence, but it seemed to have a great deal of pressure, causing people to be afraid and not dare to approach. Although Wang Jingyang had mastered rank 3 gene, he had never seen it before. If he used rank 3 gene, he would definitely die. Since he had never used it before, naturally, he had never seen it before, Wang Jingyang was a little surprised by the girl's every move. At this moment, the girl was like a high and mighty true god that had descended into the mortal world. From the moment she appeared until now, she had undergone an earth-shattering transformation, as though she was a completely different person. Even Wang Jingyang could feel a trace of genetic pressure from the girl. Even he felt a little uneasy. So this is a Tier 3 gene, Wang Jingyang said thoughtfully. In the flesh, the girl said faintly. Wang Jingyang didn't doubt the girl's words. Although he hadn't activated Tier 3 gene before, the Tier 3 gene seed had always been hidden in his gene bloodline. Intuition told Wang Jingyang that the girl's current state was indeed the state she should be in after activating Tier 3 gene seed. You won't die? Wang Jingyang frowned slightly. He had never seen or heard of such a thing. In theory, after activating a level 3 gene, the gene cells would burn faster until they were completely exhausted, and the evolver would die without a doubt. There was no chance of survival. Once a rank 3 gene was activated, one's combat power would increase tenfold or even 100-fold in a short period of time, and the evolver would have to pay a terrible price. Chapter 1094. What Wang Jingyang could not understand was that the girl in front of him was willing to sacrifice her life to use the rank 3 gene at will. If he could control this power, if he could use the rank 3 gene repeatedly, he and Little Yen would no longer have to fear and despair. They would no longer have to hide in the dark abyss. But soon, Wang Jingyang shook his head and gave up on his fantasies. The surprise in his eyes dissipated as he looked at the girl in front of him with a hint of mockery. She would die. Wang Jingyang could feel that the girl's genetic cells were burning. He never doubted his own perception. Little girl, what kind of grudge do you have against me that you're willing to use the rank 3 gene? Right now, Wang Jingyang was a little confused. Wang Jingyang did not believe the girl. No one could use the rank 3 gene and come out unscathed. Wang Jingyang was curious. What kind of grudge would make the girl sacrifice her life to use the rank 3 gene to kill him? It seems like you don't believe me, the girl said softly. The girl said softly, however, it doesn't matter to me whether you believe me or not. My mission is only to take your life. Before Wang Jingyang could speak, the girl disappeared from where she was and reappeared beside Wang Jingyang. Swoosh! She swung her palm at an extremely fast speed. The huge force was like a slanted torrent. Wang Jingyang did not even have time to react before his abdomen was hit. With a loud bang, Wang Jingyang was sent flying by a huge force. His whole body was like a piece of paper in a gale. After landing heavily on the ground, Wang Jingyang got up after a long time. He shook his head and stared at the girl. Her genetic cells, at this moment, Wang Jingyang was shocked. The girl's genetic cells that had been burning were rapidly repairing themselves. This method of cell self-repair was simply unimaginable to Wang Jingyang. No wonder the girl said that she would not die even if she used the rank 3 gene. Although Wang Jingyang did not believe it, the current situation forced him to believe it. Wang Jingyang stood up slowly and asked the girl, "How did you burn your cells and repair themselves at the same time? Are you envious of this ability?" The girl said calmly. Wang Jingyang nodded. "Indeed, I'm envious of this ability." "There's no need to be envious of someone who is about to die," the girl said. Hearing this, Wang Jingyang smiled. "I really underestimated you. But your rank 3 gene is not pure. Do you want to see the real rank 3 gene?" Without giving the girl a chance to speak, Wang Jingyang's smile disappeared and he activated his rank 1 gene. Wang Jingyang's body erupted with terrifying evolutionary power. He had only unlocked the first gene, but the range of the evolved power was even more terrifying than the third gene that the girl had unlocked. Wang Jingyang looked at the girl and said, "I should be more than enough to deal with your rank 3 gene in this state." Before the girl could speak, the girl's pupils suddenly moved. Her throat felt as if it was being choked by an invisible giant hand, and the strange force made her feet leave the ground, making it impossible for her to breathe. Looks like you're not a perfect test subject. You're a failure. Wang Jingyang looked at the girl coldly. You stole something from me, so you must die. The girl could have her. Wang Jingyang's Jingyang. Just as the girl's throat was about to be crushed, a voice caused Wang Jingyang's expression to change. Son of a b*****. Wang Jingyang looked behind him in disbelief. When his gaze fell on the girl, his pupils constricted. How was this possible? Chapter 1095. Wang Jingyang's eyes were filled with disbelief as he stared at the familiar face of the woman before him. However, there was a tinge of unfamiliarity in her eyes. The familiar luster in the girl's eyes had vanished, replaced by coldness. Under Wang Jingyang's astonished gaze, the woman walked towards him step by step. The smile at the corner of her mouth did not seem to be sincere. What is going on? Wang Jingyang's eyes never left the girl. In an instant, he felt as though there were too many things he didn't understand. The woman didn't say anything, but she still wore a faint smile on her face. Wang Jingyang frowned deeply as the terrifying power of an evolved being surged in all directions. His perception became stronger. A moment later, Wang Jingyang's expression became even more astonished. This wasn't an illusion, and no one had used a mental attack on him. Hence, the woman in front of him was the real deal. The woman walked over to Wang Jingyang's side. The two of them stood and looked at each other. Wang Jingyang stared at the woman, not putting up any defenses. The woman raised her hand gently, as though she wanted to touch Wang Jingyang's face. You owe me an explanation, Wang Jingyang said softly as he stared at the woman. The woman beamed like a flower. However, in the blink of an eye, the smile on the woman's face suddenly disappeared, and a hint of viciousness that was difficult to detect appeared in her eyes. A second later, the woman's palm slapped Wang Jingyang's forehead. An indescribable coldness enveloped Wang Jingyang instantly, and a strange mental power surged from the woman's palm. Wang Jingyang's expression changed. He instinctively wanted to leave, but he couldn't move his body. The girl, who had been sent flying by Wang Jingyang several times, walked forward expressionlessly and glanced at the woman. Master. Wang Jingyang's consciousness grew weaker and weaker, as though his soul was about to be extracted by this mental power. He hadn't been prepared at all, so he had been hit. Otherwise, how could he have been trampled on? Pup, it's been hard on you all these years. The woman's eyes landed on Wang Jingyang, and a smile appeared on her face again. Why did you do this? Wang Jingyang tried to hold on to his dissipating consciousness. He needed an answer. Lin Yan. Wang Jingyang bellowed. The woman's smile didn't diminish. I don't need you anymore. You don't need me. Wang Jingyang was stunned. What are you talking about? Have you recovered your memory? Why did you attack me? He had been protecting her all this time. Wang Jingyang did not understand why she would attack him. Doggy, farewell. Cloud Manor. Lin Yan opened her eyes abruptly. She was drenched in cold sweat. He looked at the time. It was past 2 in the afternoon. For the past few days, she had been dreaming of some strange scenes during her afternoon naps. Although she didn't have the slightest impression of it after she woke up, it still gave her lingering fear. Lin Yan got off the bed and gulped down half a glass of water. He looked at his phone, but there was still no response. What happened? Lin Yan frowned. She had lost contact with Wang Jingyang for days. Lin Yan dialed Wang Jingyang's number again. Sorry, the number you have dialed is not in the service area. Please try again later. A familiar voice came from the phone. Chapter 1096. Lin Yan rubbed her throbbing temples as an ominous feeling arose in her heart. Under normal circumstances, Wang Jingyang might lose contact occasionally, but it would never last more than 24 hours. However, things were different now. This was the first time that Wang Jingyang had lost contact for several days. There was no news at all, as though he had vanished into thin air. Lin Yan sent a message to Wang Jingyang. Which vixen abducted you? Did you get a girlfriend? If you did, bring her back for me to see. I'll help you check. You only care about the opposite sex. If you have a girlfriend, you won't even care about me? Reply when you see her. I need to talk to you. Lin Yan had called Wang Jingyang 7 or 8 times and sent him dozens of text messages in one afternoon. She had called and texted Wang Jingyang at least 100 times since she had lost contact with him for the past few days. However, Lin Yan's calls were like stones sinking into the ocean. There was no response from Wang Jingyang. Although Lin Yan was burning with anxiety, there was nothing she could do. She had known Wang Jingyang for a long time, so she knew that Wang Jingyang had no parents and was alone. She was his only friend. Even if he went missing, no one would notice. Lin Yan wouldn't know who to contact. After pondering for some time, Lin Yan finally dialed the number she hadn't wanted to call. A moment later, Xiao Ji's voice was heard. Xiaoyan, what's the matter? Mr. Xiao Ji. Is Wang Jingyang with you? Asked Lin Yan hastily. Other than herself, Xiao Ji was the only person Wang Jingyang was familiar with. During this period of time, Xiao Ji came to China. With Wang Jingyang's thick skin, it was possible for him to pester Xiao Ji and ask Xiao Ji to take him to travel around the world. Yan, what's wrong? Mr. Xiao Ji, nothing happened. I just wanted to talk to Wang Jingyang, but I haven't been able to contact him in days, explained Lin Yan. He isn't with me, but you don't have to worry. Nothing will happen to him. Huh? How do you know that nothing will happen to him? Lin Yan was curious. Were the two of them really together? Xiao Ji, who hadn't expected this question, was taken aback. Given Wang Jingyang's capabilities, what could possibly happen to him? Of course, Xiao Ji couldn't tell Lin Yan this. He merely replied, yeah, I guessed. Otherwise, how should I say that I'm sorry for his misfortune? Lin Yan was speechless. In a certain residence, Xing Chuan almost fainted when he heard his master's words. How could he speak like that? Lin Yan hung up the phone helplessly. Xiao Ji was her last hope. If she wasn't with Xiao Ji, would it be like what Zhang San and Li Si said that day? Si Bai was going to attack the people around her, so he took Wang Jingyang away. Lin Yan clicked on Wang Jingyang's profile picture on her phone and sent him a red packet. When there was no response, Lin Yan sent another 100 yuan and then 1,000 yuan. However, none of the red packets were claimed. Lin Yan drove to Wang Jingyang's apartment. Fumbled under the carpet for the key. Lin Yan knew Wang Jingyang very well. He had always placed the spare key under the carpet in front of the door. Chapter 1097. Although Lin Yan was extremely anxious, she didn't have a good solution. At the moment, it was a fact that Wang Jingyang had gone missing. However, it was still unknown whether Wang Jingyang had been captured by Si Bai or not. However, no matter how Lin Yan thought about it, there was no reason for Wang Jingyang's disappearance. Unless Si Bai had done it, there was no other explanation. Lass, there's no need to think about it. It must be that bastard, Si Bai, Li Si told Lin Yan. I really didn't expect that bastard Si Bai, who is a high-level evolved being, would actually attack an ordinary person. Kid, how did you offend Si Bai? Why does he hate you so much that he wouldn't hesitate to attack an ordinary person? Zhang San's eyes were filled with curiosity. Lin Yan looked helpless when she heard Zhang San. She didn't know Si Bai at all, so how could she have a feud with him? I don't have a feud with Si Bai, Lin Yan answered truthfully. Kid, you don't have a feud with Si Bai? Zhang San and Li Si were taken aback when they heard Lin Yan. The two brothers exchanged a glance. Kid, tell the truth. How did you offend Sibai? Zhang San didn't believe Lin Yan's explanation. If there wasn't a deep feud, why would Sibai cause trouble for Lin Yan so many times and even capture an ordinary person? I really don't have a feud. He said that I owe him money. Lin Yan sighed. You owe Sibai money? Zhang San and Li Si were taken aback when they heard that. So, after all this time, there was a financial dispute between the two of them? However, it was only right and proper for one to repay a debt, right? How much do you owe him? Li Si asked. He said that I owe him 10 billion yuan, Lin Yan replied instinctively. When Lin Yan said 10 billion yuan, Zhang San and Li Si's expressions changed instantly. They stood up at the same time. How much? 10 billion yuan. Is it the 10 billion yuan that we usually know? Or is it 10 billion yuan from the Heaven and Earth Bank? Lin Yan was speechless. It should be 10 billion yuan, replied Lin Yan. Zhang San and Li Si gasped as they stared at Lin Yan in shock. I say, kid, you owe us too much. Do you know how much we two brothers' monthly wages are? 10 billion. 10 billion. Zhang San exclaimed. Brother, what does this have to do with our salaries? This little girl is clearly in the wrong. As the saying goes, it's only right to repay a debt. Since she owes Sibai so much, she should return it to him. Li Si frowned. Hearing that, Zhang San nodded. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. If you owe money, you have to pay it back. I say, why would Sibai find trouble with an ordinary person because of you? It's 10 billion yuan. If it were me, I would kill anyone who owes me so much money and doesn't give it to me, let alone an ordinary person. Lass, this is your problem. Why didn't you say so earlier that you owe him so much money? Let me tell you, you'd better return 10 billion yuan to Sibai obediently, Li Si said to Lin Yan. Lin Yan glanced at Zhang San and Li Si in shock. Were these two brothers even speaking human language? 10 billion yuan? Sibai's money? She wouldn't be able to afford it even if she sold herself. Chapter 1098. Hold on. Who owes Sibai 10 billion yuan? Lin Yan frowned. Didn't you just say that you owe Sibai 10 billion yuan? It's not from the Heaven and Earth Bank. It's a regular 10 billion yuan. Zhang San quipped. Lin Yan replied solemnly, Sibai said that I owe him 10 billion yuan. I don't even know this person. How could I borrow money from him? Besides, does he have that much money to lend me? He's obviously extorting me. No, he's trying to blackmail me. After the two brothers looked at each other, Zhang San was the first to speak. Oh, I understand. What you mean is that you don't know Sibai at all. Sibai said that you owe him 10 billion yuan. That's a fabrication. Yes. That must be it. Or maybe he recognized the wrong person, quipped Lin Yan. That can't be. Sibai, that B** starred, is so arrogant to extort 10 billion yuan. He has to look at you first. You don't look like a rich person, quipped Li Si. Yeah. Lin Yan nodded repeatedly. Look, I don't look like a rich person. Lin Yan stood up and pointed at her shirt. I bought it from a street stall. It cost 99 yuan. She then pointed at her pants and shoes. I bought it online. It added up to 150 yuan. If I had that much money, I would just stay at home and wait to die. Why would I start a team to earn money? I'm not that free. Then according to what you said, he might have recognized the wrong person? Zhang San asked thoughtfully. Although Sibai was very rich, it was impossible for him to lend 10 billion yuan so casually. How much money did Sibai have? Seniors, I suspect that my friend was kidnapped by Sibai. Can you help me find Sibai? Lin Yan asked anxiously. The most important thing now wasn't to recognize the wrong person or borrow 10 billion yuan. First, she had to find Wang Jingyang or rescue him from Si Bai. After all, this matter had started because of him. Lin Yan couldn't let Wang Jingyang fall into danger because of her, even though he might already be in danger. Little girl, it's not a problem to find Si Bai, but, are you sure? If I help you find Si Bai, wouldn't you be walking into a trap? Asked Zhang San. Lin Yan grinned and replied, it's fine. Just help me find him. Lin Yan didn't take Si Bai seriously. He was merely a defeated opponent who had been defeated by her twice. What was there to be afraid of? I don't think this is good. It's easy to alert the enemy. Si Bai must have captured your friend for you. He must have a purpose. I believe Si Bai will contact you soon, Li Si said after some thought. Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. These two brothers. Why did they suddenly become enlightened and have a brain today? It wasn't their style. Lin Yan had been too preoccupied with Wang Jingyang's disappearance and had neglected many things. Li Si was right. If Wang Jingyang had really been captured by Si Bai, then Si Bai would definitely contact him. During this period of time, Wang Jingyang should be relatively safe. However, Lin Yan had to make some preparations. What if Si Bai did not contact her, or if he only captured the people around him because he wanted to take revenge on her? Lin Yan immediately set a deadline. 3 days. If Si Bai didn't contact her within 3 days, she could only dig a hole for Si Bai to jump into and force him to reveal Wang Jingyang's whereabouts. Chapter 1099. Lin Yan pondered for a moment and came up with a plan. Just as the two brothers, Zhang San and Li Si, had said before, it was not wise to find Si Bai at this time and play hard with him. Even if she found Si Bai, she had to take him down in one fell swoop. She couldn't let him escape. However, Lin Yan hadn't had such a record in her previous 2 encounters. Lin Yan hadn't been able to make Si Bai stay, especially the second time. She had been ambushed by Si Bai. According to Wang Jingyang, Si Bai had run away before she had fainted. If he continued to fight with Si Bai this time and let him escape again, Si Bai would be furious and vent his anger on Wang Jingyang. If he accidentally killed Wang Jingyang, it wouldn't be good. Seniors, do you know what Si Bai's hobbies are? Lin Yan's gaze landed on Zhang San and Li Si as she asked softly. We aren't familiar with Si Bai. Zhang San shook his head. Since we aren't familiar with him, how could we know his hobbies? I know, brother. I know. Suddenly, Li Si's eyes lit up. You know? Zhang San was startled. Let me tell you. Don't tell anyone. The branch president said that. Si Bai, that bastard, loves to ask girls out. Li Si replied. Ask girls out? What do you mean? Why would he ask a girl out? Zhang San was puzzled. I heard that he brings a girl to a hotel to spend the night. She has to be a beautiful girl. Li Si grinned. Zhang San glared at him. Si Bai, that bastard. That bastard. I'm so envious. Lin Yan was speechless. Li Si was speechless. Zhang San frowned when he saw Lin Yan and Li Si looking at him strangely. No. I mean, I'm envious of that girl. Lin Yan studied Zhang San with a strange expression. This old man's interests were really unique. Wasn't his taste a little too heavy? Li Si exclaimed, Huh? Brother, you. No. I'm not envious of that girl. I'm confused by all of you. Actually, what I mean is that I'm envious of these young people. They can spend the night anywhere. Unlike me, I can't sleep in an unfamiliar place. Hearing this, Li Si had a puzzled look on his face. Home and bed? Brother, that can't be right. We often go out on missions, and it's normal for us to be away for a month or two. I see that you sleep earlier than anyone else every day, and you sleep more soundly than anyone else. Impudent. Zhang San glared at Li Si fiercely. What do you know? You eat more than anyone else and work less than anyone else. You can't do anything. Shut up. Lin Yan was speechless. Tell me about Si Bai's hobbies first, Lin Yan replied helplessly. Si Bai also likes to gamble. Li Si said, beautiful girls and gambling. There doesn't seem to be anything else. Lin Yan fell into deep thought. Gambling money wasn't important. What was important was where to find a pretty girl. If that doesn't work, we can set up a bet and use a honey trap, Lin Yan said thoughtfully. That sounds good. The bet is simple, but where can I find a beauty? Zhang San's eyes darted to Lin Yan before he averted his gaze. Lin Yan was speechless. Why was Zhang San looking at her with such disdain? Before Lin Yan could reply, she received a text from Xiao Yao. Come to my office. After Zhang San and Li Si got off work, Lin Yan headed to Xiao Yao's office. Lin Yan's eyes lit up when she saw Xiao Yao. Chapter 1100. Xiao Yao, who was sitting in his office, couldn't help but frown when he saw Lin Yan striding to his side and looking at him with sparkling eyes. Is there something on my face? Xiao Yao asked softly as he gazed at Lin Yan. Lin Yan shook her head and nodded. Boss, I realized that you're really handsome today. If she wasn't confident of taking down Si Bai, how about adding Xiao Yao to the mix? Although Lin Yan wasn't sure about Xiao Yao's evolution, she was certain that he wouldn't be low. In fact, he might even surpass her. If Xiao Yao was willing to help, why would he need to resort to a honey trap? He would just get Zhang San and Li Si to trick Si Bai out. Then, she and Xiao Yao would definitely be able to take down that B*TCH. Handsome? Xiao Yao was puzzled when he heard Lin Yan. What do you mean? Nothing. Boss, can I discuss something with you? Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Yao and chuckled softly. Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan. I asked you to come because I have some work to arrange. Aren't you putting the cart before the horse? Lin Yan was speechless. All right, what is it? I'll finish it as soon as possible. Lin Yan nodded. However, although the company was huge, Lin Yan hadn't seen any customers yet. Did such a huge company really not need to do business to make a profit? That was too strange. It's a translation job, but there's no hurry. You can tell me about it first, said Xiao Yao. Boss, a friend of mine was captured by a powerful evolved being. I want to capture that evolved being and force him to reveal my friend's whereabouts, said Lin Yan hastily. Okay, go ahead. I'll give you a few days off, Xiao Yao replied calmly. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. Was this fellow serious? If she was confident, why would she need his help? What's more, what she lacked was fake. Boss, the evolved being who kidnapped my friend is at a high level. I'm afraid that I won't be able to take him down alone, so... Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Yao awkwardly. Xiao Yao studied Lin Yan thoughtfully. So you plan to give up on your friend and ignore his life? Lin Yan was speechless. For some reason, Xiao Ji's image surfaced in Lin Yan's mind as she looked at Xiao Yao. The way they spoke was really similar, and they both had the surname Xiao. Could they be long-lost brothers? No. I'm such a loyal person. How could I not save my friend? What I mean is that I'm not confident that I can defeat Si Bai, so I want your help. Lin Yan grinned at Xiao Yao. You want my help? Xiao Yao was slightly stunned. Why should I help you deal with an evolver with a high evolutionary level? Lin Yan was taken aback. She hadn't thought of a reason. Why should I make enemies for you? Do you think that's reasonable? Xiao Yao asked. Because... Lin Yan fell into deep thought. Why? Xiao Yao asked. Because Lin Yan was in a dilemma. Xiao Yao was right. Why would he want to make an enemy out of her? It didn't make sense. Because we're friends. Is that what you want to say? Xiao Yao stared at Lin Yan. Instinctively, Lin Yan nodded. I can accept this reason. I can help you, Xiao Yao replied calmly. Lin Yan was speechless. Chapter 1101. Lin Yan stared at Xiao Yao in bewilderment. Was he making fun of her? However, Xiao Yao didn't seem like he was teasing her on purpose. He looked serious. It seems like the person who was kidnapped is a very important friend of yours, Xiao Yao replied calmly. Lin Yan, who was taken aback, glanced at Xiao Yao in surprise. Boss, how did you know? Because you're very anxious. You're so anxious that you can't even think of a reason for me to help you, Xiao Yao replied expressionlessly. Lin Yan was speechless. Was he serious? Tell me the whole story. Who is your friend? Who is the evolved being who kidnapped your friend? Asked Xiao Yao. Lin Yan perked up and said, my friend's name is Wang Jingyang. He's just an ordinary person. Who did you say your friend is? Xiao Yao frowned. He's an ordinary person, Lin Yan explained. I didn't ask you if he's an ordinary person. I asked you what his name is, Xiao Yao replied. His name is Wang Jingyang. It means woof when a dog barks, Jing as in scenery, and Yang as in sunshine, Lin Yan replied truthfully. Wang Jingyang. Xiao Yao sat in his office chair and spun it around to look at the scenery outside the window. A friend of Xiao Ji's. Is that his name? Xiao Yao was deep in thought. Xiao Yao remembered that Lin Yan had a close friend overseas. He looked like an ordinary person, but his power as an evolved being was unfathomable. Furthermore, he seemed to have a good relationship with Xiao Ji. Could that person be Wang Jingyang? An evolved being with unfathomable power had been kidnapped? That didn't seem realistic. Who kidnapped your friend? Xiao Yao pressed on. The person who kidnapped my friend is Si Bai. He's a powerful evolved being. Besides, I heard that he has a relationship with a senior executive of the Hunters Guild. Lin Yan had to tell Xiao Yao everything she knew, including the fact that Si Bai had a relationship with a senior executive of the Hunters Guild. If she hid this matter, Xiao Yao might offend the Hunters Guild. Hence, it was up to Xiao Yao whether he was willing to help or not. Boss, I have to make it clear in advance. If you help me, you might offend the Hunters Guild, so. Lin Yan sighed. Si Bai? Xiao Yao raised his brows again. Are you sure it was Si Bai who kidnapped Wang Jingyang? Given Si Bai's evolved level, was it possible for him to kidnap Lin Yan's friend, who had been inseparable from her when she was abroad? Furthermore, even if Wang Jingyang was in a weakened state and had lost his rationality, the most likely outcome would be to severely injure Si Bai. It was impossible for him to let Si Bai kidnap him. Of course, there were two other possibilities. One was that he had made a mistake back then. Perhaps Lin Yan's friend wasn't as strong as he had expected. Besides, he hadn't gone through the period of weakness and his evolution had regressed. That wasn't impossible. There's a 99% chance that it's him, replied Lin Yan. Xiao Yao, after a moment, Xiao Yao said, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Disappointment filled Lin Yan's eyes, but she didn't blame Xiao Yao. After all, Si Bai was related to the higher-ups of the Hunters Guild, so Xiao Yao had his own concerns. I'm not afraid of the Hunters Guild. Xiao Yao seemed to have guessed what Lin Yan was thinking. Then. Boss, who are you? Lin Yan was puzzled. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.